I'm Yoshi Lomax, superstar attorney at law and fugitive.
So, you're the famous Yoshi Lomax. Probably more infamous.
I'm on the run from the federal government for crimes that I didn't commit.
Gentlemen, I'm Deputy U.S. Marshal Sharon Starr. I'll be taking things from here.
Not to mention being on the hit list of at least 3 of Miami's major crime bosses.
I wanted to apologize in person for leaving so abruptly last night.
Welcome back.
That's Vladimir Kuznetsov, a Russian crime boss. He's been a suspect in over a dozen missing person cases.
I mean, I didn't get here to be this successful for doing things the American way.
I need a list of the jury for my case with Hanju.
Oh, really? What's that worth to you? Oh, my God, you're such a...
Mr. Santana is to be released upon processing.
So what do you know about Sheldon Chisholm?
What do you want to know about him?
I really need to know if you're going to take my case. I don't have time to play, Miss Lomax.
Money is not a problem.
You know anything about his case?
It's being handled by agents in my field office.
I've learned that in this game of life, in order to win,
Ready to dance?
you gotta play dirty. You might look at me and see a beautiful, confident, successful woman.
Congratulations, counselor. Yet another win.
But underneath, I'm flawed. I'm broken. And I'm scared. So I have no choice but to run until I can find a way to clear my name.
Miss Lomax is now considered a fugitive of the United States. Catching fugitives is my business, which makes her my suspect. You and your associates are relieved.
Look. She killed one of our own.
But I will not give up.
All right, people, listen up. Get a picture of Miss Lomax out there so the public knows what she looks like.
I will not give in.
Okay. People, we got a game plan. Let's break and execute.
I will not get caught.
Time to go hunt.
Real talk.
Hey, I'm Gina Lou, and you're listening to Real Talk with the Director on Dollhouse Radio.
Hey, what's up? It's Logan Browning, and you're listening to Real Talk with the Director on Dollhouse Radio.
Real talk.
Hi, this is Alana De La Garza, and you're listening to Real Talk with the Director on Dollhouse Radio.
Hi, I'm Diane Franklin from Better Off Dead and Bill and Ted's Excellent Adventures. You're listening to Real Talk with the Director on Dollhouse Radio.
Hi, this is Monique Dupree, and you are watching Real Talk with the Director on Blog Talk Radio.
Hey, I'm Stormy Maya, and you are listening to Real Talk with the Director on Dollhouse Radio.
It's Vicky Judy, Orange is the New Black, and I'm here with Real Talk.
Yo, what up? This is Jay Ellis, and you're watching Real Talk with the Director on Dollhouse Radio. Keep it locked.
Hi, I'm Rita Parks. You are listening to Real Talk Radio with the Director. Hey, I'm Issa Rae, and you're watching Real Talk with the Director on Dollhouse Radio.
All I'm offering is the truth, nothing more.
And nothing less. What's going on, everybody? Happy Monday. Once again, thanks for joining us here at Real Talk with the Director and the Jedi Council. I'm the Director. Be with you for the next 120 minutes or so. Real Talk brought to you each and every Monday by B2S Media. Of course, we broadcast live via the World Wide Web on Facebook, on YouTube, on Twitter via Periscope. How y'all doing? What's up? Thanks for joining us, man. We got a good show tonight. I'm sure one half of my Jedi Council will be joining me sometime soon. Ralph, we're waiting on him. We have special guests tonight. friend of the I say a friend of the show. I don't know if she's ever been on the show before, but she's a friend of me, so she's a friend of the show. Um, Actor La Rivers, she'll be here. She's here. I'm gonna be bringing her on very shortly, and we'll chat it up with her a little bit. Should be good. We'll talk a little bit about colorism because earlier this week they an interview dropped with Vanessa Bell Callaway, where she is talking about and Vanessa Bell Callaway she's from a lot of things, but she is originally one of the most memorable roles that she did early in her career was she played I think the character's name was Imani, which was she's your queen to be. She was the queen or the queen to be in Coming to America. So she did an interview with Page Six recently where she states that she felt that she didn't get the lead role due to colorism. And she also said, a lot of other things. So I was like, okay, I had, and I wanted to just kind of touch on that tonight. And because colorism obviously is a big problem that's always been plagued our culture and our business. And however, I was with her all the way until she threw Eddie Murphy under the bus because she said she said she thought she didn't get the role because she wasn't light enough. And she actually said, even though Eddie Murphy had the final say on who plays Lisa. Now, she did not have to bring Eddie Murphy in this at all. She could have just said, because she started off by saying, when you have white people who are casting black people for films, they look for a certain type of person. 100% true. It is true. Unfortunate, sad, but true. I was like, okay, check that off. I'm with you. Then she's like, yeah, it's very possible that I didn't get the role. I read for the whole, script. I wanted the bigger role. I didn't want that role. That's exactly what she said. And she said, I just think I wasn't light enough. I'm like, okay, well, it's possible. It's kind of a little bit of an insult to Sherry Headley, in my opinion. But I said, okay, all right, Queen, I'm rocking with you. And then she said, even though Eddie Murphy had the last say, I said, oh, wait a minute. That's what just happened. He just ran Eddie Murphy over. Then she backed it up. It ran over Eddie under the bus. I was like, wait a second now. Now all of a sudden it's Eddie's fault. I just didn't like that. That didn't sit well with me because very quickly I'll break down and we'll get more into it when we bring everybody on. I didn't like it because number one, that was, if I'm not mistaken, your second film role ever. Okay. It's one of your most memorable film roles to date, right? Eddie Murphy has you in this film that's about to come out. It's 2 weeks away, and you talking about colorism, and you're attaching Eddie Murphy to it. It's 2 weeks away, and he gave you a check and brought you back. So what is that? That's how you repay him? So that's what I didn't like about it. I was like, yo, the timing couldn't be worse. Couldn't be worse. So it's like, so that's, we'll hash it out. I want to get La's point of view on it. And of course, bring in my other Jedi councilman, Ralph. And we thank you, man. We'll get into that, man. That's good. It's going to be fun. And of course, as we've been doing all month long, we are doing the top films, black card films. These are the films that you must see if you want to earn or keep your black card. So we've been running them down. We've had a lot, we've been dropping like 5 each per week. because it's a big list. It's that list is man. I think Ralph he probably has the count on it. It's at least 40 movies, probably. A bunch of movies, but we're not being too hard on you. Some of them you could substitute with others. If you didn't see this one, maybe you can see that one. It will still, you can keep your card. But some of them is just you have to see. Like, we went through some, we ran down. I don't have the list here, but probably by next time we'll run the whole list down. But that's it, man. Thank you for joining, everybody. Big up to the chat room. I see y'all. Good evening. Jimmy Ace, what's up? Joseph Tanner, as usual, holding us down. The heavy hitters come through. I hear it. I might get a visit from Heaven Hollywood later. My brother, and we'll see, man. Let's get it started. Thanks for joining us. You're there. We're here. You're watching Real Talk with the director of the Jedi Council. I am director. Brought my Jedi Council with me. If you don't believe me, well, here goes one half of them. Ralph, you in the building. What's up?
What's going on, everybody? Another snow day. Another snow day.
Another snow day.
Another snow day.
Our guest tonight is on time. She was actually early. I saw her backstage in the green room, and she's actually early. So we're gonna bring her in immediately. You know what I mean? She's a Jedi in her own right. You know what I'm saying? I think she has on one of her profiles. She's a Jedi nurturer. That's a shit. Jedi nurturer. I hear that. So yes, friend of the family, friend of the show, friend of me. Very, very good actress. La Rivers is in the building. What's up, La?
Hello.
Hey, Hollywood. I have to say that. I had to say that.
Yeah. Wow. So that's funny. Yo, so listen up. Thank you for joining us, of course.
Thank you for having me. I miss you.
Thank you. Yeah. Thanks for coming through. My brother will be coming through later. He's gonna come and check you out because he heard you were coming on, and he's like, "Yo." He's like, "That's my girl." I was saying before, I think I sent you a text earlier, or I sent you a Facebook message. I was like, "Y'all need to get the band back together, man." You know, need to get the band back together. I was always the filmer and on the picture taker, but it was all magic. We all played our roles. We all played our roles.
Magic. It was good times.
It was good times. So, how have you been?
I have been amazing, despite the circumstances of whatever's going on in the world. I'm very lucky. Lucky.
I've been keeping an eye on you, watching you do your thing. I know you just finished a show, right? Theater.
Yes,
doing your thing, and I want to get into that and talk about it. I want to introduce you. I know if you've never met my co-host Ralph. Ralph, this is La Rivers.
Hey,
hello.
Ralph. Nice to meet you.
Nice to meet you. Nice to meet you.
Yeah, man. So, as you saw at the top of the show, we'll jump right into it. We'll talk about colorism, period. But I really wanted to talk about this because this is what sparked it. You heard what I said in my little opening monologue. Vanessa Bell Callaway. Now, like I said, I was with you, Queen, all the way till you threw a man under the bus, threw Akeem under the bus. I was not with that. Only because, like I said, even if that's how you feel, that's how you feel. The timing of it all couldn't be worse. So what's your take on that? And then we'll get Ralph's take as well.
Well, I don't think that this is just such a coincidence. The blacks are in vogue right now, so everything is about color and needing to identify with some sort of, I don't know, I hate to use the word victimization, but everybody has to have a platform for something. And regarding her comment, and I love her because she gave me a really nice compliment on my acting, so I feel like she's an older actress, and I hate to say that older, but she came from a different generation. And I think she's recounting something that she had in her mind. Me personally, I think she was perfectly cast, and I'm going to tell you why. Vanessa Bell Callaway is a very rich actor. She is very dynamic. She is glamorous. She is intriguing, and I think that is a little bit too complex for the lead role. You know, it's kind of like the Sex in the City. Like the lead character can't be too big. She can't outshine the. You know what I mean? So I think she was perfectly cast, and I don't think it was.
Yeah.
You know, I don't know. I didn't cast, but I don't think it was because of her color in this particular situation. That's my.
In this particular scene. No, I'll be honest. And before I get to you, Ralph, like I was saying, I feel the same way. I don't think, I don't think that it was because of that. And I said in my little, I had did a little video that I put out about it, just talked about it briefly. I told my point of view. I said personally, in my opinion, Vanessa Bell Callaway was more beautiful than Sherry Headley. That's my opinion. I said Sherry Headley's beautiful. I said, but in my opinion, Vanessa Bell Callaway is more beautiful than her. But that doesn't mean she's right for the role. I said, and on top of that, obviously being a person who sat on the other side of the casting, and I've cast before, cast a director before. So the thing is, with it could have been a million factors. We don't know if she tested with Eddie. Maybe their chemistry wasn't there for that role. Maybe they wasn't vibing. I'm just saying, I don't know this. These are just things I'm just guessing.
Yeah.
Sherry Headley, maybe Sherry Headley read better. Maybe she tested better. You know, it could be a million
people don't
things.
think about that. Everything isn't necessarily about color. It's sometimes you're just not right for the role. I just think Sherry was better because she, I think Eddie needed a plain Jane for that movie, for the story.
Yeah.
It wasn't about
more Girl Next Door-ish.
Girl Next Door. Yeah, exactly.
More Girl Next Door-ish. That's what I think too. Ralph, what do you think about that whole situation?
Well, I think the first thing is that before I even get into what I think about why my question is, why are you waiting until now? Why didn't I never heard this in 89, 90, 2000, 2012, nothing. Until the idea came they were going to make a sequel. Now all of a sudden it was like, I should have really had the role. Now, I'm going to lean more toward that one. Perhaps the two, you and Eddie Murphy probably did really good. Maybe there was just no chemistry to convey the fact that you were the one that he would come to New York to find. Maybe it is that, for a bunch of different reasons, that part of the chemistry was not there, and it was there with Sherry Headley. And she was the one that was because you're absolutely right. Simply because you are the most smokingest woman, the buffest guy, it doesn't necessarily mean the part that's written for you is the part you should have. It might be a lesser part. That's just the sad reality of entertainment. And once again, if that's what it is, why are you waiting 30, almost 40 years now to sit there and say, no, now all of a sudden. Next thing you're going to need, if you know what, if I'm honest with you, if we listen to this and say, you know what, maybe she was right. Next thing you hear is say, well, Angela Bassett shouldn't have been Tina Turner. I should have been Tina Turner because that's what I'm saying. Like why stop at that?
Yeah, and when I put out that video, I was getting people were trying to come at my neck, man. They was like, "Yeah, I believe her, cause look at Eddie Murphy. All he dated is light skinned and white girls."
That ain't got nothing.
I said that has nothing to do with it.
And just for the record, a lot of you naysayers out there talking about Eddie Murphy only date light skinned chicks. You know who Eddie Murphy used to date and he broke it off with? This really real beautiful talented singer named Whitney Houston, who was a very dark skinned girl. Let's get it right. Let's get it right.
So that's that. And on top of that, they talk about, oh, AM I said, wait a minute. Someone asked me, name me some people Eddie Murphy had as his lead that was dark skinned. I was like, well, Angela Bassett, Brooklyn, Vampire in Brooklyn. Regina King, and Daddy Daycare. Regina King was his lead, female.
Shirley Ralph.
Robin Givens. I'm saying Robin Givens.
Halle Berry.
Holly's light, but still, So anyway, I
she's
think
only with the Noxzema. She's in real life. She's a little darker.
She's a little darker in real life.
She's on real life with the Noxzema, a really good makeup artist.
Yeah,
Chanel No. 5, whatever you want to put it. But the point is that, and let's be honest with people that if you really look at the career of Eddie Murphy really doesn't have too many movies where he has a leading lady. Most of them is like a buddy cop movie where he is the center of attention, or he's under prosthesis. So I mean, I'm going to be honest. And if you look at his entire career, you might see maybe 10 females that would be the equivalent of a leading lady. But a lot of his movies, he doesn't have a leading lady. It's just simply him, you know. And like I said, the overall question is why are you
Shit, in
waiting
one of
until
them, he
now?
was the leading lady.
He was the lead.
Norbit.
He was the leading lady.
Norbit, he was the leading lady.
Right. He was his adopted father, you know.
Yeah.
And come to America, he's the barber, he's the singer, he's
everything.
he's everything. So like, stop that with that part is the bad part of the racism. You want to say that black guys only want to be seen with Mexican girls? Stop that, because you don't know everybody. Everything. You just look at what's going on in the movie because a movie director or producer is going to pick the person that's best for the part. Now, it very well may be, well, this girl is lighter, and they want that, but most of the time, is the woman is the better part. Because I'm sorry, and I'll be honest, if it was reversed and they picked Sherry Headley, I'm betting if Angela Bassett came walking in through the door and auditioned for that part, they would have gave the part to her because she was the better She is the better actress. And she probably would have had better. She probably would have had natural chemistry with Eddie Murphy than Sherry Headley. Maybe
I'm gonna make this one point, and I'm gonna move back to La. My last point on it is, here's my only thing I'm gonna mention, and this is the one thing that people don't like to mention, is the age factor, right? Because sometimes. Now, at the time, in 1988, when the film came out, Vanessa Bell, she wasn't even Callaway yet. She was Vanessa Bell. Vanessa Bell was 31 years old. The part of Lisa was a 21-year-old, it's supposed to be like 21, 22 maybe, because, Eddie's character was 21, right? Vanessa Bell, like I said, she, in my opinion, is better looking than Sherry Headley. Doesn't mean she was right for the role. That could have played a factor in it. Sherry Headley was 22 years old when that film was, or 23, something like that, when she shot that film. She was young, fresh, kind of like what La said, a little more girl next door-ish. She was only like 23 years old. You know what I mean? Vanessa Bell was older than all of them. Eddie was like 27 at the time when the film was done, even though he was playing a 21-year-old, but he was like 27. Yeah, so Vanessa Bell Callaway was like 31 at the time of that film. So, yeah, it could be that. I mean, I just don't think I think even if that's how you feel, the timing of it all, it makes Eddie look bad. And how bad can he be? He just gave you a check. He didn't have to bring that character back.
No.
He didn't have to bring that character back. That character's story arc is gone. It's over.
One and done.
It's one and done. He brought her back and gave her a check. I think just for that alone, you don't tie his name to something as serious as colorism, because it is serious, right? It's a serious thing. Yeah. It's real and it's serious, but you don't do that. So I don't know. La, what do you think about?
I think there's a way to speak.
Yeah. Go ahead.
Yeah, I was going to say, I think there's a way to speak about it without, like you say, throwing him under the bus, because that's her opinion that she thought she didn't get the role because of that. I don't know that she has confirmation of that. I think right now that conversation is just one that everybody's talking about. And so her, I don't want to call it insecurity, whatever she felt, the reason that she didn't get it was how she felt at that time. I personally think, and now that you say that she was older, she seemed too, like you said, Ralph, why would he have to come all the way to America to get her? They had her very regal. She looked like she belonged there with all of the rich people. You know what I mean?
Yep.
So I just think that
she was perfectly casted.
She's projecting in this particular role,
Yeah, I think so. So let's talk about.
And you know what? I'm sorry, but Lara, that's a very good point. She comes to Eddie Murphy, and she is supposed to be this, for all intents and purposes, an African princess, and he wasn't interested in her. He wasn't. So now let's say you reverse the roles, and Sherry Headley was the princess. He's really gonna come there, and all of a sudden he's gonna see you and say, "You're the woman I want to be with." No. You can't even use that as a legitimate
I think she was. I think she was cast for that role because she was more beautiful than Sherry Headley. You know, in a way, and that's no disrespect. Sherry Headley's very beautiful herself. But what I was saying was,
exactly.
yeah,
Yeah.
you know. But for that role, with everything, like you said, she looked more regal. She looked, and she fit. That's the whole point. He wants to walk away from the beautiful woman that was picked for him, and he wants to pick a woman that could think for herself, and that's what he wanted. And he ended up falling for the girl next door type, you know, just the daughter of the dude, you know, McDarrell's. But so it's all good though.
If
But you know,
anything, she should have been complaining that they made me bark like a dog. Now there's your complaint. Arf, like come on.
hey man, all of that stuff she doesn't regret because people still remember her from it. So moving on, La, I want to talk about a couple things you've been doing. I want to talk about the theater that you just did. Is you know, I'm gonna let you talk about it, and we'll go from there. I got that picture of you. You know, I'm gonna cue it up with you in costume. Because you look so amazing in this character. But tell me about the show first. Tell me about the show.
Well, I was in Sedona. You know, the New York theaters have been closed since. Well, my show closed down due to COVID on the 8th of March. New York shut down on the 16th. So I haven't been on a stage in 3 weeks. It'll be a year. So I got an opportunity to go out to Sedona in Arizona because they allowed some of the smaller theaters to open and seat up to 35 people. And what they did was tape it so that people could watch it on Broadway on demand. So the name of the play is called B. Luther Hatchie, and it's about a girl named Shalita Burns, who's an African-American editor. And so she stumbled across this story about a biography of this 72-year-old reclusive woman called Libby Price. And so she's in this book wins this big award, and so she's never met the author, and so she decides to surprise the author with the award and finds out that the person that wrote the book was not a 72-year-old Black woman, but a middle-aged white guy. And so, you know, hilarity ensues. I happen to play Libby Price from her young age all the way up until she's 72 years old. So the pictures that you see on media and in the papers is me as a 72-year-old woman. So
there it is.
Yeah, it's fun.
And there it is. There's the picture of 72-year-old La Rivers. You aged well. You aged well, La. You aged
like
well.
My grandmother.
You aged well. That's good, man. How was the experience of that?
I was hunched over for the whole damn show. So I'm doing yoga to get my back together.
How long is the show? How long is the show? Runtime. See if she can hear me. Can you hear me?
Well, I was a replacement for another actor. And so bless her, because she couldn't fill the role, and so I ended up, her name is Corte, she's amazing, and so she got me in touch with the director, and I got selected for the role, so I was actually a replacement. So the play opened on February 5th. I flew out there on January 27th, and I had 4 rehearsals, so it was a really rush thing. So thank God they had a great staff and crew to dress up Libby Price as this old lady in her many other costumes and to sort of help me along. Thank God for them. It was really a great cast and crew.
It sounds like, I mean, it looks good. It looks really good. I really like the way they came out. Now, can you hear me?
I can hear you now. What did you say?
No, I said no, they did a really good job.
Yes.
Did you so playing the older version now? Have you ever played an old person before? Is this your first time playing an old person? I know you've done a lot of roles.
No.
Oh,
no,
okay.
I have played an older woman before, but it wasn't in this dramatic for the whole show. So I played Well, actually, I don't know. She wasn't old. I played Ida B. Wells once.
Mhm.
Yeah, that's the and my first play like 1,000 years ago. I played an older woman, and that was actually good. Actually, that was fun to do. That was the only time that I was actually aged in this one.
Oh
So yeah,
wow,
but I do
wow.
a lot of
So
period pieces.
yeah, that's true. Yeah, that's true. Now I know you got theater, you do film. First of all, how did it feel get back on the stage after all of this time?
Oh
I think she
God,
has a
I
delay.
was so thankful. Oh my God, it feels so good because I love the stage. I prefer to be on stage. If I could work on stage for the rest of my life, that would be amazing. It was wonderful because for me, I do a lot of work on Zoom, this kind of theater stuff. And it drives me crazy because I'm a touchy-feely person. I need human contact. So being on stage was amazing. It felt like home. I felt so happy.
I'm glad. I'm
I'm
glad.
just curious.
Now,
Did they? How was the audience? I know you said it was like going to be shot out like paper, like nobody was there. But did they let like a limited amount of audience and people actually come in to see it in person, or you're just acting out with nobody out there?
Yeah.
Because from what I understand, I always thought that a lot of people that do
No,
plays like the
we had a
audience to vibe a little bit off of the energy in the room.
okay.
Yeah, absolutely. We do get a lot of the energy from the audience. It's very difficult performing to an empty theater, but they did allow us to have 35 guests for each show, and that was the max. And people were spread out, social distance and all that kind of stuff. So thank goodness for that, because otherwise it's kind of just like a rehearsal. You kind of just in the theater with nobody there. But slowly but surely they're opening up, and I don't mind that smaller venue. I don't think they could do that on Broadway though. I don't see people going to Broadway sitting 6 feet apart. I don't think that would work because the theaters
Nah.
are so big. But in the smaller off Broadway theaters, I think it could work pretty well.
No, that's true. That's true. Do you have any film work? Was you able to book any film work lately, or you haven't been in front of the film camera either?
Well, I'm actually reading a script right now, but I actually had just finished a film before the COVID thing started called Equal Standard, with Ice-T. And so actually that's the one that I went to, that and I did a film for Cameron actually, like just before that one. And so we went to Cannes 2 years ago. So the Equal Standard
Oh,
film is
nice.
actually just coming out now.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
That's great.
Yeah.
That's great.
Brendan
Well, where
Kyle Cochran
did
directed.
they
You might
release
know
it yet?
Brendan.
I might. What's the name again?
Yeah, they did release it. You could actually see it online. It's Equal Standard.
Equal Standard. Yeah, I'm gonna check that out.
It's called
Man,
Equal
if
Standard.
I should have known that before
Yeah,
I
with
got you
Trench and
here.
Ice-T and all those guys.
Oh no, what was your character? What was your character like?
Uh, I play a woman who is desperately trying to get away from her boyfriend, and in the midst of us uh, arguing on the street over our child, he gets shot by the cops, and so that's when the kind of the movie begins on that. It's actually a really, really good story. You may have seen the trailers for it, but just hadn't seen the film. But I'll send you the info for it. Just see it.
Yeah, that's definitely send me info for it. That should be good. So well, like I said, so this month we have been doing our top black card movies. And we I wanted to know if you don't have to name five if you can't think of five, but can you at least name three films that you feel that
Are necessary. They got to.
I
If you
can
necessary?
didn't
say
see
three,
him,
but I'm sure you said them already.
Probably, but it's okay.
maybe.
Say them anyway.
Friday.
Okay. Okay.
So I would say Friday. Definitely Coming to America. Um, let's see. School Days. Um,
Mm-hmm.
I think if you haven't seen Drumline, remember that?
Drumline.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And let's see, I'm trying to think of some, and The Best Man.
Yeah. We said the best man. Now
Yeah,
We did say the
Drumline,
best.
I didn't have Drumline on there, but now that I think about it, it makes sense, Drumline, because of the school with the bands and stuff like that. Yeah, I forgot about
yes,
that. Yeah, I
yes,
forgot about that that element of it that's
Drumline.
part of black
So you can
culture.
add that one.
Yeah,
Yeah,
yeah.
Drumline is not on my list. It should
Was
be on my list. It is on my
it
list.
should
It
be.
is on my
Is it
list.
on there? It is on there?
Yeah,
Okay,
it's
yeah.
on
I
there.
didn't have it on
It's
mine.
under, it's under the alternatives.
This is what alternative.
It's on
Drumline.
the
Now, I mean,
alternative.
I came from like the first week I came with all old school stuff. Like I was saying stuff like, Cooley High. What else I was saying? I think the Learning Tree and Shaft and stuff like that. I was putting out there at first,
Oh yeah.
mostly old school stuff at first. Just to get. Then every
Oh,
week I came. Okay,
what
go ahead.
what about Higher Learning?
Yeah, I had.
I put higher learning down, right? And I thought about it.
Okay.
Higher learning, it should go on there because it deals with the black experience in school. It certainly deals with racism wholeheartedly, real deep racism, more than just I hate you because you got skinheads, but also the part that I always tell people I think is the best part of the movie is the young girl that Christy Swanson played when she's divided between the guy and the girl, and you see the secrets between the two of them. Of her trying to figure out who she wants to be intimate with. And at the last shot is the guy grabbing the condom. But that was the most poignant part of the whole movie because a lot of times when we see movies and when you have teens or young adults having sex, the word condom never comes up. And now you're sitting dealing with a girl that's not only dealing with trying to deal with a guy, but also deal with a woman. Which at that point in time was something kind of like, wow, I'm not seeing it. And at the same time, So it is down there. I have it down there as a really good alternate because it's if you haven't seen, like, if you didn't see Boys in the Hood but you saw Higher Learning, okay, you really should have seen Boys in the Hood. But if you didn't, you saw Higher Learning. That's cool. That's cool.
Yeah,
Oh
you
yeah.
get it fast. You get it fast. There's some people shouting you out, La. In the Jimmy Ace says, "Hey, La Rivers," shouted you out there on the screen, and you got there was someone else too. I think Joseph Tanner in the room said, let me find if I can find it again. But he said, I know he said something like, "Welcome to the beautiful La Rivers."
Yes, he did.
Like that. He did, right? He said something like that. I just can't find it. I think it's right here. There you go. Also, welcome to Real Talk tonight. Beautiful La Rivers. Yep. So they loving you there, whereas we love you here. And what else I wanted to talk to you about? Yeah, just overall, man. Did you see the oh, I think we lost her.
She's coming back.
Yeah, she'll be back. It's buffering. Okay, she's back. Can you hear me?
Okay. I thought I lost you guys.
You did.
No,
You
no,
did
we
for a
got you.
second. You did for a second. You went buffering, but it's all good.
Okay.
Did you see you saw Judas and the Black Messiah? Did you see that?
I didn't see it yet. I'm being a hater, okay? I'm from Chicago.
I know.
My mother was a Black
I know.
Panther.
I
I've
know.
got real issues. Just like
You
I'm
know
gonna
that's
watch
why I
it, but I'm
asked
gonna
you.
have to have
I
some
know
wine
about
first.
your history.
Everybody says it's a great movie, and I know it's a great movie. But even from the trailer, I can tell he's not an American Black man. and it drives me
right.
crazy. That's what the whole movie's about. So I gotta swallow my ego, my pride, whatever you want to call it, and just sit down and watch it. I have to do it. I haven't done it. So to answer your question, no. And I'm being a bit of a hater, but I'm gonna watch it.
Because I believe Daniel he's from Africa, right?
Yeah. Well, he's British. He's British.
Yeah, so I can get that part. I mean, though he does do a fairly really decent American accent. Anyway, Margot Robbie does a really good Brooklyn accent, and you can believe that she's really from Brooklyn when she's really from Australia.
Right.
I get that one, but I think the flip side of that coin is that's what acting is. Acting is you're supposed to pretend to be someone that you're not and make it believable, like yourself. You're doing a Broadway play. A play where you're portraying a 70-year-old woman. You're nowhere near a 70-year-old, but you can pull that off. That's acting,
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, that's exactly.
Thank you. That was very kind.
But I think that's the truth. So I mean, I get where you come from, and maybe it would be a different story if there was no such thing as if the Black Panthers never existed, and they kind of like created this and there was no basis of reality for it. Maybe it would be a little bit different. You say, oh yeah. But because they really did exist, it's like,
Yeah, it's I read some stuff on it and I mean I saw it. I liked it. Go ahead. You go.
I was going to say Chicago is very specific. Like it's not just any American black man. It's a south side of Chicago. It's a very specific time. It's a very specific things going on. It's not just about being aggressive and angry. This guy was like 18. He had his whole life ahead of him, and the accent of Chicago on the south side in those days in the 60s, 70s is very different than what he was doing. I think a lot of young actors are not studying the period when they do period pieces, and they just sound like anybody in America, and that it takes you out of the time period, and that's the main thing that I had with it.
That's an interesting point. Now, when I watched the film, I'm gonna watch it again. When I watched the film, I was wondering about the specific accent he was doing, but then at the end they did play, and I think they did this on purpose. They played an excerpt from Fred himself, and I have to watch it again. Like I ain't gonna lie, I thought he got close to it because they played a Fred, Fred had the actual speech, and I've been listening to him through the whole movie, and I'm like, why is he talking like that? Because I didn't know I'd never heard the accent, and then they played it at the end, and it definitely wasn't exact, but it seemed like he was in the ballpark. So I don't know. You're gonna have to judge that when you watch it, and
That's good. Okay.
Yeah.
Well, let me ask the side. If you're saying you have a problem with that, who would you have liked to have seen play that role that you feel would embody who he really was?
Oh God. There's a gentleman who was in The Deuce. I know his name, and it's just escaping my mind right now. I wouldn't. Oh, I hate to say this. Somebody mentioned John David Washington, Denzel's son. Mm-hmm. And I imagine that as an alternative. But there's a gentleman who played a pimp in The Deuce. He's actually English too.
Oh, that guy?
He does American Southern. He's good. So
I'm not sure. They did him dirty in The Deuce. They did him dirty.
I should know.
I was like, actually, I can't remember his name, but yeah, they honestly, did.
Go ahead, La. I think she has a delay. You go. I don't know if she hears me. You hear me, La? You can hear me?
I can.
Okay. No, finish your point.
Yes.
I think you have a little bit of a delay, so sometimes it's coming over each other a little bit. But you got to finish your point, what you were saying about the actor.
No, I was saying that they could have gone with an unknown even. You know what I mean? It didn't have to be somebody recognizable. You know what I mean? Because his character isn't about celebrity. You needed somebody that was passionate, that could be a young 18-year-old passionate activist
Hmm.
pioneer from the 1960s and 70s,
Yeah.
and not celebrity. That's passion. That's hard. You know?
Ah, yeah, that's true. I think
But I'll
they were
watch it. We'll see.
definitely,
I'll
yeah,
come back to you
please
and talk
watch it.
about it.
Let me know. Let me know we got to get
Okay.
your opinion on this because these are your roots. So we got to get
Yes.
your opinion on this. Got
Yes.
to get your opinion.
Yes.
Cool, cool.
Yeah. I
That
get
that's
sensitive
what's up.
about Chicago stuff.
I know you do. But it's so funny. I wanted to say that at the top of the show. I was gonna say, she is true blue, a Chicago, native, but you so New York too, though. That's what cracks me up. You're so New York, but I'm like, yo, you always repping Chicago. We know that, but you're so New York.
The Bears. The Bears.
So, yeah, I'm not gonna keep you too
I
much
had a
longer
lot of
line.
uncles. A lot of men raised me.
Yeah, that's awesome. Um, So what? So what's Chicago? Now there was something else that said. So what did you think of Chirac? Did you not like that either? A lot of people I know from Chicago didn't like that film.
Uh, I hate that term Chirac.
Wow.
So I don't know. It's
Hey,
I don't know. I mean, it's like I said, it's popular right now to talk about Chicago. It's popular to talk about the blacks right now. We're in vogue right now. We're popular, so I guess it's fine. It's very difficult for me to give an unbiased opinion about it because what I have to realize is when they do shows about Chicago, it isn't about Chicago. That's kind of like the surroundings, but
backdrop.
it's not
Yeah,
Chicago to a person that's from there.
yeah.
I think it's just
No, you're right.
the background to the shy and stuff like that.
Yeah. Well, I mean that's the way it's supposed to be. It's supposed to be, when you do a show, it's about, well, it's supposed to be about the people, but a lot of times it isn't. But that's their interpretation of it. You know,
What do you?
Yeah.
All right. Well, let me ask you a question. If I was a film fan, I met you for the first time. What film would you tell me, or TV show would you tell me to see that brings in the essence of the Chicago that you're familiar with? Because I can think of a bunch of movies that are based in and around Chicago, but like, which one do you think like best shows off my city?
see if she get that.
Oh, it dropped out.
Oh, okay.
What I said was like if like we
You
had met.
said what? You said what?
What movie or show would you say that showcases Chicago? Not because I can think of a bunch of different films that have shot in Chicago or use Chicago as a backdrop. But which one do you or TV series or movie do you think best showcases Chicago from your point of view that you say, yeah, that's my city?
You know what I'm gonna say, and Hollywood's gonna crack up. The Mac.
The Mac.
That's the
The
energy
Wow.
of it. Yeah.
Mac.
Okay.
It's Chicago's a energy. It's not just what you see on the news and stuff. It's those things happen, but we have a code there of how grown men treat their families and their mothers and their community and their neighbors. And it's still, you know, stuff that's happening in the streets, but there's a respect thing. You know, you don't mess with women and children, you know, when you're a certain age. Now, there are young people there, like the teenagers there are going wild, but that's not what the substance of Chicago is. We're still very Southern, still very, very familial city. It's all about family, and the code of the streets and the code of life. And I don't see a lot of shows that are like that right now. You know, when the people want to talk about Chicago, it's always about the violence, and Chicago is so much more complex than that.
I would have said the movie I said last week, Barbershop. I think that perfectly embodies, from what you just said, the original Barbershop. Maybe not the entire series. Maybe the first and third one. The whole thing about family and respect. You know, that is, from as you just said it. That is Chicago.
I can see that.
Yeah.
I
Chicago
can see
is
that.
about respect. That's the right word. I couldn't have said better. That's it.
Oh man, this is good. This is cool. I tell you, La, that's what's up. No, but yeah, Barbershop. Now, what's cool? Wasn't Cooley High set in Chicago? Was that set in Chicago? Or were they in Chicago?
Yes,
I think
very
so.
much Cooley High. Yes, that's
Yeah.
another great film that. Yes, it
Embodied,
was. Yeah.
especially for back in that day, right? Yeah, that's what's up. That's what's up. Oh yeah, so that's you're the Chicago efficient here. So those are the ones people need to go out and see, stay away from.
Well, I'll have to come.
Go ahead.
Well, I'll have to come back on your show and talk some more Chicago.
Yeah, for real.
Yeah.
We'll talk some more. There's plenty up there. Speaking of which, I know like I said, I promised you I wouldn't hold you too long. But what else? I know you have you been doing any writing? Didn't you say something you was doing some writing?
Pardon me?
I said, have you been doing any writing? Didn't you say you was doing some writing? That might have been a while ago when I talked to you about that, though.
I was doing some writing, and right now I'm just doing some outlines because I have a lot of stories to tell, but I don't like writing. I don't have discipline. You actually have to sit down and make yourself sit down and write. And I'm just
nobody bother you.
So
phone don't call.
Probably
don't
one
want
day
text.
I'll be asking people for help, but yeah, no. That's the honest to God truth. I hate sitting down writing. I hate it. But I am making notes.
Yeah, you gotta get it. You're gonna have to force yourself to do it, La, because I know you got a lot to say. You're very good with words, and you need to. You gotta have to force yourself to do it, or get an assistant to write for you. one of the two. That's cool. But listen, shout out. How can people check you out and check for your stuff before you go? And just let us know how to track down La Rivers if you want to be tracked down.
Yes, well, I am on Instagram at La Rivers Actor. You can find me there, and you can watch B. Luther Hatchie, the play, on Broadway on demand, and also check out my new film Equal Standard, director Brendan Kyle Cochran, and that's where I'm at.
Okay, so it's BroadwayOnDemand.com. BroadwayOnDemand.com.
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
I'm putting that in the chat room so people can check that out. And what shout the name of the
Thank you
film?
so much.
Oh yeah, you're welcome. Give me the name of that film one more time, La.
Equal Standard. EQUAL Standard.
Yeah. Okay. Standard. Perfect. All right, La. Thank you very much for joining us. We appreciate you. We love you.
Thank you.
Thank you
And please
so
come
much.
back.
I love you
Come
too.
back
Thank
and
you
hang
so
out with
much. And
us.
thank you, Ralph.
Yeah.
You're welcome. Come back. Yeah, come back.
Yeah.
'Cause we got another list that you
I
might want to
will.
jump on. Top movies that made you cry. You might want to
Yeah.
jump on that one.
Have a good night, La. Yeah, she was a little bit of a delay back there, which is, it's all good. Um, yeah, I actually I cast her in a couple of times. I worked with her a couple times, and she's a really good actress, man. La's a good actress. Actually, I had something I wanted to play when I had her on, but because she has the delay, she probably wouldn't be able to really get the full blast of it anyway. But I had this show. My brother and I created this sitcom called Kiki and Claude, and on Kiki and Claude, it was about these two. Really, to be honest with you, they were the first, probably the blueprint for Two Broke Girls. They probably stole our idea and put Two Broke Girls out. But Kiki and Claude was basically that. They were two chicks that lived in a small apartment, and they were trying to get into the entertainment business. And there's an episode that we wrote called "Here's Bobby," which is based on, we got, to be honest, it's a homage episode. We're paying homage to an old Odd Couple episode.
That's what I was saying. It sound more
Yeah,
like the Odd Couple.
yeah. Well, we were paying homage to an Odd Couple episode with a character named Bobby Riggs, and except obviously we made this time Bobby Riggs as a female. In the Odd Couple, Bobby Riggs was a male, and so basically Bobby Riggs in our story is a high school frenemy of one of the main characters, and they were always competitive. And she could, the main character could never beat her at anything. You know what I'm saying? And so La Rivers played the character Bobby Riggs when they come in and they got all of these things going on. It's really cool. I wish I had I have it here. I don't know if I could cue it up or whatever. I don't know if I could still yeah, there we go. I'm just gonna play a clip of it so she can go back and watch it later because I told her I'd play it just for some nostalgia. So this is Kiki and Claude. That's the show we had starring Lynn Hill and Valerie Wong, and uh, La Rivers was the guest star. I'm just gonna play this one clip. What you're about to see is a clip where La Rivers, who plays Bobby Riggs, Claude. This is Claude. Her friend from high school that she could never beat. There was always competition. So this is a quick clip from that
Oh, you took
episode.
the Bobby Riggs episode of the Odd Couple?
Yeah, the Bobby Riggs episode. We did, and we did our own version. So it was cool. It was like, because we always like to pay homage to all of the for me, the classics, the Odd Couple, the Honeymooners, stuff like that. Those are the people I pay homage to because those are the classics. But anyway, I'm gonna play a quick clip of it. So anyway, that's just, I told her I'd play that just for some nostalgia purposes. But yeah, man, she played the Bobby Riggs character, and there was a lot of stuff happening in that episode though. There's like a whole scene where they're like, like we really blueprinted it around the Bobby Riggs episode from the Odd Couple. You know what I mean?
That's a
So
good
we
episode.
that was a great episode, man.
That's just a great series, man.
That whole series was great. And
Felix used to crack me up
all
the time.
We got a whole scene so you remember from that episode where Felix tries to challenge Bobby Riggs to try to win back all. We got that same because we did the same thing with the Kiki character, Kiki and Claude. So Kiki's she is the from those two. Neither one of them is an Oscar or a Felix, but Kiki is the crazier one. She's the slapstick comedy one, of the two, and she's the one that went in on Bobby. I'm gonna try to find that one, that little moment and cue it up because you'll laugh at that because it brings you back to that. Except of course they did ping pong in the Odd Couple. In this one, Bobby Riggs, she was a pool champion, so they was gonna do pool, but you had Kiki in this show, same deal. I challenge you. Yeah.
And the sad thing, man, they don't even run that no more. I'm sorry,
they don't run none of that stuff.
There's one channel on cable. It's called Me TV, and one weekend they had an Odd Couple marathon. And they played 12 episodes. And I was like, I caught it in the middle, but I watched it to the end and I just laughed and laughed. I can't think of any other. I mean, there's a lot of funny shows out there that are currently. I mean, certainly the Big Bang Theory. I love Mom, but in the 70s, man, you had the Odd Couple, you had Happy Days of Ren and Shirley. You just
that's how we market this show. We call them they are the Black Laverne and Shirley. That's what Kiki and Claude is. They're like the Black Laverne. That's the best way, for lack of a better description, that I can describe this show. But it's there's a whole lot of elements of the show to it. But for lack of a better description, people say, "What is Kiki and Claude? What is that about?" And I'm just like, they're the Black Laverne and Shirley. Just think about that. They're like, what? I'm like, the two girls just live, normal working girls, but except their element is they're trying to break into the entertainment business. You know what I mean? But they both work, regular jobs and, a lot of, somebody sent me, when Two Broke Girls came out, somebody sent me a clip of it, was like, I was like, I won't be surprised. I won't be surprised. They like trying to steal, but they can't steal my flavor though, Ralph.
Nah, I can't do that one.
They can't do that. But anyway, let's get into the list. It's funny, man. I was trying to go through my list of the Black films. She did mention did she mention Higher Learning, or that was you?
Yeah, she mentioned Higher Learning.
Yeah, I thought about Higher Learning as well on my list because just because of everything that went on in it, and would it have been, I think I have it where you have it, like a second choice.
Yeah, it's a good second choice.
It's a good second choice. I don't think it's a must see. And then she said School Days, which I was wrestling with that too. School Days was important.
Second choice.
It's a good second choice. School Days was important because of the element of the fraternities. Black college life and fraternity. Now, of course, he I want to say he exaggerated a little bit, but I mean he made it that way on purpose because obviously Spike did not think much of black fraternity, college fraternities, when he did that. But I thought it was. I think that's also a good second choice. Would have been School Days. Do you have any other Spike Lee films on your list at all?
Well,
we've already said Malcolm.
Malcolm X, but
I've already said Do the Right Thing.
Right. I would really sit there and say Clockers. Clockers is a damn good movie. Damn good.
It was.
That's the one about this guy. Actually, it's Mekhi Phifer's. I believe it's his screen debut. Where he plays this, a hustler who kind of sort of tries to set his brother up to kill someone because, Mekhi Phifer's boss by Del Rolino wanted the guy gone. Like they cutting out the competition. And it goes horribly wrong, and then Harvey Keitel comes in as this hard-nosed cop that knows he's lying, but he should just let them try to hang himself. But the performance by Mekhi Phifer is just amazing for someone that was his first role, But it is just a real gritty cop movie. If you haven't seen that one, I mean, Spike Lee has made some stuff, and I like a lot of his movies. But that one, and then if you didn't see that one, I certainly would say Mo Better Blues. No, I'm going to say Jungle Fever quicker than Mo Better Blues.
Jungle Fever. Yeah, I'd say that before.
Yeah.
I'd say Jungle Fever before Mo Better Blues.
Yeah, then Mo Better Blues. Then I would say one that's I think a lot of people maybe not saw it, Get on the Bus, about the Million Man March.
Yeah.
I would say that. And certainly Black Klansman. I think that would be the fifth one that like you would have to see Black Klansman. Because that is just an excellent story,
No, it was a good story. I'm thinking, those probably the ones from Spike that I would say you have to if I was gonna put any other of the other ones on there, I say let's check out. But now, do you have any like later films on your list, like
I have
more recent? Because I really couldn't find recent ones that I really felt you have to see.
I did. If we're just going from the 2000s, the last 21 years, there are a couple of movies that certainly you should have to see.
Okay, from the last 21 years, okay.
All right, and that's just the 21st century. As I mentioned a few weeks ago, Barbershop, but one is Ray.
Ray.
The autobiography of Ray Charles.
Yeah.
Yes, that is a definite.
Yes,
I'm also going to sit there and say another biography, The Last King of Scotland.
King of Scotland, yeah.
Yes, with Forrest Whitaker.
Yeah.
I would put that onto that list. I'm also going to put on that list because we got to have a little something more than just drama. Dreamgirls. Dreamgirls should be on that list. It's a little laid back, but it's a good time. And I mean, Jennifer Hudson. I mean, wow, who really saw that coming?
True.
Something a little more modern, would be Selma.
Okay.
Martin Luther King.
Yeah.
I would also include on that list
Fruitvale.
Fruitvale Station. Yes.
Yeah. Because that's real. That's everything we just mentioned was damn near biopics.
Right.
You know what I'm saying?
Right.
So like, I think if it's something about a black event, a person that in our history, it's definitely worth seeing. Someone had hit me up and said Just Mercy, which is also kind of like a biopic. It is like, I did not see that though.
I haven't seen it all. I've seen bits and pieces of it. I hear that it's really, really good. I know they started when the pandemic hit. It kind of got lost in the sauce, and they tried everything to put this movie out today. I mean, hell, they offered it on TNT quicker than it came on cable or streaming, because they just felt that with all the social unrest in our world, that it was needed. Matter of fact, it was on early this morning. It was like 2:00 in the morning. It was on, but I wasn't sitting to watch it. But I'm gonna have to sit back and watch that movie. I think it's going to be amazing when I see it. And Jamie Foxx is one of those guys, and Jamie Foxx, a lot of people slept on him when he first came out. Like, oh yeah, that's Wanda, this booty call. Nobody really saw him becoming the guy that he is now. I mean, the guy has an Oscar. You know, he really speaking, he should have had two the same year.
Should have got two.
He should have had two in the same year because he was damn good in Collateral.
Yeah, he was good in
that Ray came out. He should have had two.
I mean, I honestly, I've always been a fan of Jamie Foxx. As an actor, I mean, yeah, as a comedian too, I liked him, but he really is an exceptional actor.
Yes, he is.
He's an exceptional actor. So, and I liked him in a lot of films. Like I said, I
Stephen
liked
Beeman.
him. I loved him in. I know, right? I
Stephen
loved him
Beeman.
in that. I loved him in The Collateral, like you said. And like I said, man, I always say I liked him in Miami Vice. I liked his
Yes,
character.
he was
I
good. I
liked his
mean,
character,
I,
man.
I have problems with Miami Vice because I just never.
He was darker. He was
It's
darker than
but it's
the
not.
show.
But it's not that. I just didn't never think that you could duplicate the chemistry more between Tubbs and Crockett. It had to be all of them, and I just didn't think you could ever duplicate that kind of chemistry. And they kind of sort of got it like a little bit, but it's really between Crockett and Tubbs. But it wasn't amongst the rest of them, the lieutenant on them. It just didn't hit, despite Michael Mann doing it. But to me, it just didn't hit like the TV series. A very good movie. Like if there was a Miami Vice TV series, and Miami Vice the movie would have been awesome. But chemistry just wasn't there for me, you know.
Yeah.
But and another one more movie that I certainly would put on to that for the modern time, Creed.
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 Yeah.
Because
Creed. Because number one, here you have a a classic character name from the Rocky series, and we all knew he was that character. We loved him. They brought him through to Rocky 4. They killed him off. Now you got a chance to go from this. Yeah, I think that would definitely fall in there. Creed, because it was good. First of all, it was damn good.
I must admit, because when they said they were making this Creed movie, and I mean I knew Michael B. Jordan from like Red Tails and Fruitvale Station. The part about him being the son of Apollo Creed, and then they said, well, it's a movie about Apollo's kid, but we're going to bring Rock Stallone, and you're thinking, oh, and Stallone must be directing it. No, he's not. He's not directing it. He didn't write it. Someone else wrote it and asked him to come into it, and Stallone was like, okay. And he comes into it, and it still, to me, it still felt like, in the beginning, it felt like when he Stallone came, like it was a Rocky movie. But as the movie kept going, it started going like this, less and less of Rocky, more and more about Creed.
Yeah.
And showcasing his kid. And I still think Stallone was robbed of an Oscar. To this day, I think he was like rightfully robbed of an Oscar that was really his. He should have won.
He should have got that. That would have been great for him to win.
It would have been great.
That Oscar for a supporting actor. That would have been really, really cool.
I'm curious because they are going to do a Creed 3. I think Creed 3 is when you actually kill off Rocky.
Yeah, I think they might too.
I think
that's it.
I think you at this point now,
because he's gotten
arc is concluded.
Yeah, his arc is over. His arc is over. It's really nothing. I thought they were gonna kill him in Creed 2.
I did for a minute. I did too. But I was like, no. I mean, really, I thought Creed 2 was like Rocky and Ivan would jump back in the ring for a minute, to resolve their. I mean,
ain't nothing to resolve. Rocky whooped his ass.
Rocky beat him. But
Rocky beat him.
I'm gonna tell you why I like. But I'm really gonna tell you what I liked about Creed 2, because I did like Creed 2. What I liked about it is that it brought back an old nemesis of Rocky. Because a lot of times when you see movies and the hero defeats the villain, you don't ever see what happens to the villain after that.
Yeah.
And this, you see that comfortability that Drago had in Rocky 4. After he loses everything. Now he was living high. Now he's like in
crazy. That was good.
He looked like he was in
third
world somewhere.
Very good angle. They took that. I love the angle they went with that.
Right.
Because he was on top of the world and they took everything from him.
Right. I mean, come on. His wife left him for someone that had money, and because now you got no money, you got no fame. Now you're seen as an embarrassment. You're seen as a disappointment. He tells his son, they took everything from me. So for him, if his son would have won that title, it really would have been the retribution of Ivan Drago.
Yeah, it would
You
have.
know, and I was like, when I thought about it, I was like, damn, it's like so many different levels to Creed 2. Now, I will grant, some people say, well, maybe they shouldn't have jumped to that in Creed, in second Creed. They should have been more original with Creed before he does. Like maybe it could have been like for the Olympics. I said no because he was already a professional fighter. They couldn't do that one. But that would have been even more fitting if it was an Olympic match. Now it's the world against the U.S. Really, the U.S. against Russia. Then you got the revenge factor that U.S.'s best is Creed is fighting Russia's best, which is Drago's kid. You got Rocky and Drago in the corner. There could have been all different kind of levels with that one, but I like the way it went. But I think in the third film, now you have to Rocky's got to go. And if it does, later on, somewhere down the line, we're going to do our top five like saddest moments. If
Yeah.
they do a movie where Rocky dies,
Oh my goodness.
it's going to be number one.
It's gonna be sad. It's gonna
It
be
is
very
going.
sad. I mean, that's a character that generations, what, 3 generations have known. If maybe 4, if you think about it.
Yeah, going on 5 generations
Yeah.
have heard of the character Rocky. I mean, if you ever go to Philadelphia and people that live in Philadelphia know this, you go by it's like when you go to Philadelphia, right? When I was a kid to go to Philadelphia, you had to go see the Liberty Bell, maybe where the Eagles played, the stadium. Now, one of the places you got to stop to is that museum because the Rocky statue is there. It's
And the
not a
steps.
fake. It's really there.
It's really there.
And if you saw it in the Rocky Balboa where people run up the stairs and recreate the gotta fly, people
Yeah.
really do that every damn. People doing that. The pandemic. People doing that right. Someone's doing that right this second.
If I doing it right now.
Right this second, someone's doing it.
Running up them stairs. I mean, he really put that whole thing, man. It's just crazy how they created this character, fictional character that's from a real town, a real city,
right?
And Rocky, they put that on their backs.
Yeah, Rocky is really the character that put Philadelphia on the map. It's not that. I mean, in my personal, it's not Dr. J. It's not Dr. J. It is Rocky Balboa, right? Because a fictional character. Because I'm serious. When you go riding around Philadelphia, there are certain things that you see. You like, yo, that's from Rocky. The art, the museum.
Yeah,
that's from Rocky. Hell, even the spot. I think I know a spot where in Rocky Balboa his restaurant is at. I think I know where that's at. He the fish market. All this stuff is all from the Rocky Balboa.
The world of Rocky Balboa.
The world of Rocky.
Yeah, that is so funny.
And I can't think of another movie that's based in Philadelphia that really showcased Philly like Rocky did. And like I said, if they do a Creed 3 and you actually see them kill Rocky dies on camera. Now, like if Adrian would have died in the Balboa,
that'd have been tough.
That would have been tough.
Yeah, they killed her off screen.
And the same thing with Paulie.
It
would have been tough.
But it would have been way tougher to deal with. If I meant like with Adrian, that would have been rough.
Yeah,
that would have been rough.
But they 86 Rocky. It's going to be the saddest moment in the movie, and I don't think in any films is out there that has a long sustaining film series where you could kill the main character. Maybe the only other one is James Bond. If you really killed James Bond, not that he retired, if he really died in action, maybe that. But anybody else, no. I don't see. I can't think of any other.
There's no one. There's no one. Yeah.
No, I thought of one. Maybe, and it's a strong maybe. Maybe Harry Potter. Maybe Harry Potter.
I never got into the Harry Potters, but maybe he has a big following. It's a big fan. Yeah, man, that is What was I saying? Yeah, that would be big. But yeah, Creed belongs on there. What about? I'm talking about recent films too. I didn't see this film. What about Harriet? What do you feel about that?
I didn't see Harriet, but I remember what Kev said about it, like the what do you call it when the white man helped out the girl and tried to make it that it was really him, not her. No, so see that
That's that
waxes it out
bullshit.
for me,
That
right?
waxed it out.
But from the last 5 years, Hidden Figures.
Hidden Figures.
Hidden
I was just about to say that. Hidden
Right.
Figures. That's important
That's
because
important.
that's based on real people.
You
You
know,
know what I mean? Yeah.
certainly I'm gonna go with.
I'm not going with any slave movies. I don't want to. I don't want to. I'm not putting none of those on my list. I mean, other than Roots, other than back in like Roots, whatever. I'm not. I ain't putting like 12 Years a Slave. Like I'm not putting none of that on my list because I don't think you have to see these movies to earn your black card.
No, I mean, you certainly you should have watched them, but you don't really. Now, 12 Years a Slave, I do have down there, but I think I got it more down there for the role that Lupita Nyong'o played, Pat, right?
Mm-hmm.
Because it is, and actually that's one of my saddest moments when she is being whipped. That is just like, but see, it's sadder because that's one of the movies when you're sitting in the audience. Like I remember where I saw that at the AMC, not AMC, the Regal Cinemas. No, AMC. Yeah, Regal Cinemas on 34th Street. I saw it with a whole crowd of white people. And when he started whipping her, and you could see the whip coming off her ass and the skin coming off, I'm looking at everybody like. I'm grabbing my soda cup, thinking, how can I make a shake out of this? Just start waxing.
Make a shank out of the straw.
Make a shank out the straw. Make a shank out the cup. Let me take my shoelaces off.
Now I don't think. Did you have Training Day down?
Training Day is down there. From the 20th. Training Day is down there. I think I have it as a really good alternate film because there's too many other movies by Denzel that you should have saw first.
Yeah.
I also had down here from the more modern time, which is For Color Girls.
For Colored Girls.
For Color Girls. Real tough movie to watch.
Yeah.
It's all based on poetry. Every the 5 stories in it, and they all tie together. But that part where he dropped the kids out the window, like, yo. And then Janet Jackson saying this whole thing to her husband, saying, you can keep your AIDS, you can keep the money, It's like, damn, you did her dirty like that. You did Janet dirty. And that's what I said. I was another guy said, yo, you did Janet like that? Janet Jackson?
Yeah, man.
So
that was a tough one. Shout out to Maddie in the building.
Hey Maddie, where you been? I know, right? I'm all, and like I said, you always can't have Dread. So one of the movies I said which would be a good alternate to see is Girls Trip. I thought it was awesome. It was funny. Tiffany Haddish just came out of nowhere.
What about did anyone mention Waiting to Exhale?
That is on my list. I don't think it's on my must see.
It has to be on your must see, especially for women. That set the tone for these type of. It really kind of paved the way for those type of films, though, because there was plenty of films after that was similar, and it kind of paved the way for Girls Trip in a way. Even though Girls Trip was a comedy, and this was a drama.
I agree. I don't think you get Girls Trip without Waiting to Exhale. I really don't think you get it. No.
Yeah, you can't.
Once again, I saw it. I saw Waiting to Exhale with a whole bunch of women. Yeah. I sat there and did it like, that ain't me y'all talking about. So
exactly. No, I mean it started that because it kind of came out because the way it started that whole thing, man. The whole narrative from the book and which a narrative which from a filmmaker standpoint I can't stand that narrative. I hate that style of filmmaking when it's like you hear her talking the whole time, coming in and out, and it's narrating from the book. And I'm just like, that's lazy to me. That's lazy writing, and that's lazy filmmaking. But that was near the beginning. I'm not taking.
But I think, and for that movie, that was kind of necessary to hear their inner thoughts of how they were. And I think because of the subject matter, it was really necessary to actually hear their thoughts about how they were seeing the men around them.
Yeah. No, it was necessary. I'm not saying for that film. It worked for that film, but I've seen other films try to do it too, and I'm just like,
I
Maddie
agree
said,
with you at times
Joseph
that
said, what about The Bodyguard?
you know what, The Bodyguard. No, I'm sorry, no disrespect to Whitney, but The Bodyguard is not a movie that really impacts or tells the point of view of the Black culture. It's don't get me wrong, it's a very good movie, but
very good movie.
But could anybody else have played the role of Marion? At that point in time, no, you couldn't.
Not at that point.
But then for those that really followed that movie, the sequel, you know who the next person he was going to protect? It was going to be Princess Diana.
That was supposed to be the next person.
That was supposed to be The Bodyguard too. And it wasn't going to be someone playing Princess Diana was in negotiation to be in The Bodyguard too.
Wow,
that would have been like a whoa.
That would have been real interesting. Damn.
Yeah.
That's too bad that didn't happen.
It's too bad that she passed away, because that would have been a jaw dropping moment where you see Princess Diana making a movie. You don't see the royals doing except them being on like news broadcasts. They ain't popping up. You're not gonna pop. Hell, the Queen Elizabeth has not popped up in the James Bond movie. They've been doing James Bond movies for almost 60-something years. She ain't never popped up as a cameo in a James Bond movie. You know, right?
What about American Gangster? Did you mention that?
I have American Gangster as on my must list.
Yeah,
I have that on my must list. It is once because he's playing a real life person, Ray Lucas.
Yeah.
And to see Denzel and not for nothing, I know some lady here gonna come at me, but what brought Denzel Washington down was his wife.
Yeah. Listening to his wife.
Listen, if Denzel Washington did not put on that fur coat, that $30,000 chinchilla, he would have did what he was doing, stayed anonymous, stayed under the radar, but he put it on to please his wife, and that's what outed him. You can defend it all you want to, ladies.
No, there's no defending that.
But you have no defense. None. That's what brought him down, his wife.
Yeah, he should have never listened. He wanted to wear it because she asked him to. He should have. Then he want to go and throw it in the fire after it was too late. The horse was out of the barn at that point.
It was out of the barn. But look at that scene when he throws that fur into the fire. Don't look at her. Look at him. He's staring into the fire, and his friend is like, "Oh shit, I'm out it." You know, all my hidden secrets. I mean, come on, because he was even going to check on people selling his stuff, and he was putting on fake mustaches and sideburns to disclose who he really was. Right? Nobody knew that he was behind this organization. Everybody thought it was a white person.
Yep. No one knew. No one. As a matter of fact, they was actually almost the freaking cop almost sounded upset that it was a black guy running things. No.
He was like, "What?" He said, "I ain't never heard of this." Well, guess what? If he didn't put in that chinchilla, nobody would have known. Everybody would have thought that he worked for an Italian. They would have been after the guy that was talking about, let's make a deal. No, I trying to talk about the colors and make him understand. They would have thought it was the Armand Assani character. But the wife did him in. See, guys, y'all see, fellas, all y'all want the hot chick, but the hot chick will do you in if you be slipping. Stop slipping.
I'm gonna throw in a recent. I think it was originally supposed to be a film, but then they ended up making a deal for it to be 4-part miniseries, that being When They See Us. I think that was it doesn't discuss the black culture, but I just think that's an important film to see how these black kids were treated, about the Central Park Five.
Wow.
To see how they were treated, black kids treated, by the police at that time. And coming up, growing up in New York, that's true, how the cops were back in those times, how they were doing that, man. And they had all them kids up in there questioning them without their parents and without a lawyer present, and basically coaxed all of them into, copping out to something that they didn't do, because they're like, oh, you just gotta. They had them all blaming each other.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, so and so did it, right? Yeah, all you gotta do is say that he did it. You can go home. You want to go home, don't you?
Yeah.
It's like, all right, yeah, fine, he did it. So yeah, it's not. I'm not saying that, but it's got.
I think
it
sounds like it's one that you should, because it's based on a historical event. It's not something that they made up, but it's a real life.
It's real life.
Which really happened.
Yeah, and really showed how the dude Corey, forget his name, Corey, I forget the last name, but he was the one who stayed in the longest out of all of them.
Mm-hmm.
And that dude was like, he went through a lot, man, and he wasn't even in the park that night. And he ended up he went in there the longest. He stayed in the longest, man, and was in the hole probably for a good, maybe half of the time he was in jail. He was in and out of the hole. It's crazy.
But I know this is the last Monday of the month.
Yeah.
So next week I will not be having a top five list of black movies. So I'm gonna give you my top 5 for this. Actually, this week I'm gonna give you 10. I'm gonna give you 10 because it's the last one.
Last one, yeah.
So I'm starting this list out with the one film I think if you have never seen, it doesn't matter what else you've seen. If you've never seen this one, you automatically reject, and that's Roots. Yes,
Roots.
It is not a theatrical movie. It is
a
TV miniseries.
TV film, yeah.
Right. But it is by far the single most important film to black culture ever done. Ever. It is still to this day one of the highest rated shows. One of the highest things ever viewed in the history of television.
Yeah.
That week that Roots came out. Think about that. There have been things that been one episode that had like the end of Friends, the end of Seinfeld, the Big Bang Theory, Super Bowl. It's rated higher than Super Bowl. I think the closest thing to it is the very last episode of MASH. I think that's still correct.
Wow, which baffles me because I hated MASH. But anyway,
but MASH was such a long series, and we wanted to see how it ended. I mean, I saw the end of MASH. I was not a fan of the entire series, but I saw the end of MASH. I did not. And y'all asked me, no, I did not see the end of Friends. No, I did not see the end of Seinfeld. I did see the end of the Big. I did see the end of the Big Bang Theory.
That was good. That was nice too. That was very nice. Almost, it won't go on my make me cry moment. I know Jimmy Ace asked about that again. I guess
Jimmy, we're doing that.
Yeah,
we're doing that. We're
definitely doing that. We may not have time to do it today, but we'll do it maybe next week since we're done with the Black History Month stuff.
But on my list, Roots is by far the one movie, TV series, miniseries, streaming service, DVD, VHS tape that if you've never seen it, we need to stop talking right now. That Paramount.
And turn in that black car.
No, not even turn in, just burn it. Just burn it. Because you don't
get wait a minute now, Ralph. I'm gonna play devil's advocate here. And you're gonna burn it. They can't burn it. What if they're a young cat? A lot of young cats. I find unfortunately.
I'm gonna tell you this. If you are over the age, I was gonna say 18, but if you are over the age of 21, right, and you're really gonna sit here and say that you've never seen Roots, then I'm gonna sit there and say, find it. I'm sorry, I work at my regular job. I work at Walmart. It is always in the DVD section. Roots and Roots the Next Generation. And no, Roots Next Generation you should see, but it ain't as important as Roots. I'm quite sure you can find it on a streaming service. I'm quite sure that some of your grandparents that still got it on VHS tape, they taped it off television. You can find it. Don't hand me that excuse. I ain't never seen Roots. If you ain't never seen Roots, we could stop talking. For real. Stop talking. Right?
Yo.
It's the only one that you can say when someone sits there and say, I've never seen it, stop. Stop. That's like if someone's talking to me once again about science fiction, we said, I've never seen Star Wars. Stop.
Stop talking.
Stop talking. Because everything else you say don't matter. I don't care. You say, yeah, but I seen Star Trek and I seen no, but you ain't seen Star Wars, which is recognized as the real beginning. You know, if and hell, if you sit there talking about I've never seen The Godfather, stop.
Yeah.
Stop.
Don't talk about a gangster films or Italian films. Period, in my opinion. But
exactly,
still.
films. Period. That's
a lot of people. One thing I find, unfortunately, I always sound like the bitter old man. But the younger generation, most of them, I don't want to put them all in a box. A lot there's some that like to get their culture and get their film, whatever. But a lot of them are not interested in seeing older films. They're just really not.
But see, like I'm gonna be honest with you, like me, I'm an older guy. I'm 50. I don't really like seeing black and white movies. There's a whole bunch of black and white movies that I have never seen. Never. Have
you seen 12 Angry Men?
Yes, I have. I've seen it. I've seen that, and I've seen the remakes. I've seen that.
The original to me was better.
The original was the best. I mean, the other one with George C. Scott was pretty damn good.
It wasn't bad.
That was pretty good. Pretty good.
I like the original, yeah.
But I do like the original. But there, and it's because I really don't like the old black and white movies. That it just doesn't appeal to me. That doesn't mean that if I'm sitting around one night and one came on that caught my eye.
Right.
Like I'm gonna tell you this.
Some people might tell you, when it comes to us being, cinema guys, some people might say to you, so you don't like black and white movies, Ralph. So you've never seen Casablanca?
Yes, I have. Yeah. I have seen Casablanca.
Right. I know.
I'm gonna tell you this. When I got married, right? Realistically speaking, I never saw God damn it. The movie with not Miracle on 34th Street, the other one that's the Christmas classic, right?
Oh yeah. I know what you're talking about. A Christmas Story.
No, Christmas Story sucks. It was great the first trillion times I saw it. Now they have every Christmas. TNT does the 24-hour marathon Christmas Story, and TNT look TNT, another Warner Brothers product. Stop it. Stop. I like the 24 hours of Elf. I like that one, but a Christmas Story, no. Stop. The first it's been on a trillion times. Stop it. It's a Wonderful Life. I've never.
It's a Wonderful Life you're talking about.
I never really saw the whole movie of It's a Wonderful Life, and it is in black and white. But one night around Christmas when I got married, my wife put it on. She put on a bunch of Christmas movies that she liked. Now my wife was younger than me, and she loved it. And she didn't make me, but she said, "Ralph, let's watch this." I was like, "Okay." I was like, "Oh," I said, "Like, say, Ralph, just trust me, you'll like it." And I liked the movie. I thought it was great, and I see why it is a Christmas classic. Hell, I'm not a big Jerry Lewis fan, but she had the box set of Jerry Lewis movies, and I sat there and watched The Nutty Professor, and I swear to God, I cracked the hell up. There's parts of that movie that are just so outrageous that you just have to laugh. He's funny.
I mean, like I said, I always push A Guide for the Married Man. I think that's one of the funniest movies from back, like old school movies from back in the day. It was in the 60s, but that was actually in color.
Yeah,
but it was a really good. That film was so funny. It was directed by Gene Kelly of all people. I'm just like, Gene Kelly. Most people, obviously recognize his name with dancing, and so obviously he was an actor too. But I mean, You didn't think he was gonna be. He directed this film. Basically, got all favors because he had all of the big names from that time: Lucille Ball, Art Carney, a whole bunch of people just that didn't
Just
even get
did it.
credit in the
Just
film. They
did it.
just did it. They just did it. They didn't even credit them because you probably couldn't because back then, with the unions and stuff, you probably couldn't even credit them. I mean, I think they put like a reprint of it out, and now the names are on there. But originally, they didn't even get credit.
No, they just did
You
it
know,
to do it because it was him.
they did it because that's their boy. But I wanted to say with the black stuff. I know you didn't finish your list yet. Well, finish. This is finish your list, and
All
then
right, now I'm gonna give you two movies that are non-black, but I think they had. Well, one is non-black. The other one stars a white guy. But I think they had to see Blazing Saddles.
Mm-hmm.
One of the funniest movies you will ever see in your life. Your
Mm-hmm.
life. Even though it's directed by Mel Brooks, but it's written by Richard Pryor.
Right.
So there's a lot of Richard Pryor isms in the
Yeah.
character of Bart, the sheriff.
Yeah. Yeah.
The TV series sucked when they tried to turn it into a TV series. It didn't work because there was something about Cleavon Little. Cleavon Little just had that timing.
Yeah.
And maybe it was because more of the time that he had with Gene Wilder, right? But if you've never seen Blazing Saddles, find it. It's the most
Blazing
offensive
Saddles,
movie.
yeah.
It is one
It's
of the most
very offensive.
offensive movies, but you will sit there and laugh your ass off.
So with that being said, what about the Wayans Brothers movie, Drink Your
White
Juice
Girls?
in the Hood? No, the other one. Drink
No.
Your Juice in the Hood, man. Don't be a menace.
No, I'm gonna tell you why. Because the Wayans brothers, Sean and Marlon, I kind of sort of like their TV show, the Wayans brothers, but Drinking Gin and Juice because it's more of a parody.
It is a parody movie. Yeah, it's a parody movie.
Right. But then you look at Scary Movie, but Scary Movie
Parody as well.
It's parody, but it's funny. I really didn't find Drinking Gin and Juice in the Hood. I mean, first of all, who wants to say that long ass name? I need
that
a
was the point, though. That was the whole point.
But I really didn't.
It was that title had every movie that they spoofed.
Right?
That they spoofed. Don't be a menace to South Central while drinking your juice in the hood. Yeah.
I didn't really and
while drinking your juice in the hood. Yeah.
In a lot of movies, I just didn't find funny. I just didn't. Now, White Chicks, there's parts of White Chicks that I do think is funny.
Mm-hmm.
Right? It's certainly not like one of my movies you recommend you, but if it came on television, yeah, I would tell you to watch White Chicks by the Wayans Brothers certainly quicker than Gin and Juice, and certainly quicker than Little Man. Little Man.
I didn't really like Little Man is funny because Little Man was really just all they did was take they made a live action version of the Bugs Bunny
that's
episode.
exactly what they did.
The Bugs Bunny episode, Babyface Nelson episode. Oh, Fenster, baby.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, Fenster. Yeah, that one. They just pretty much took that and made a live action of it. No, I mean, Scary Movie was good though. Scary Movie was really good.
The first one and the first one. The second one, no. The second one is so. But I really like the third one, but the third one isn't directed by Keenan. It's the Abram brothers. Yeah. The fourth one, no, and then certainly the fifth one, no.
None of them. To me, to be honest with you, I liked the first two better than any of them because to me what I liked about the second one, they started getting more into the ghost stuff or whatever. They kept the parody stuff. Well, now all of them kept the parodies going.
Yeah,
which is
fine.
But I
kind of like the third one when they brought in Leslie Nielsen. That, and certainly Charlie Sheen. I did like it, but the fourth one I was like, no. And I think there's a fifth one. I didn't even
the second one had the one when they was cracking on each other. That was funny to me, man. When he was like, oh, because my man had the little hook hand.
Oh yeah.
Like, yeah. Why don't I give you a hand? Why don't you give me a hand? Well, no, he said, I think I'll give you a hand because he was in the wheelchair, and he's like, why don't you give me a standing ovation? Why don't you pick me up? He said, yo, I think you look familiar. Were you in Stomp? I was like, yo, that was hilarious to me. I was like, that scene was, and that whole scene with him with the turkey. Oh, it was disgusting,
it was disgusting.
It was
and then
funny
when he was digging, there are elements of Scary Movie too that are funny. But as a whole, it's so. First one I really like, and I do like the third one. All the other ones like. But as far as the Wayans brothers, White Chicks, I did kind of sort of enjoy. I think it was kind of outlandish, you know. But I didn't like drinking, you know. Don't Be a Menace. It was just so. And Little Man, I was like, no.
So what about I'm Gonna Get You, Sucker?
Yeah. I'm Gonna Get You, Sucker is a must see.
That's a must see.
That is a must see.
Gotta see I'm Gonna Get You, Sucker.
Gotta see I'm Gonna Get You, Sucker.
Because if you love the
black
exploitation, if you loved Hollywood Shuffle, if you loved, you know what I'm saying, this was all introduction to I'm Gonna Get You, Sucker, and stuff like that. You know what I mean? Yeah. You definitely who said just no? Yeah. I mean, I think that's a must see in there.
That is a must see.
Any other Wayans movies?
That Keenan
doesn't matter who was in it. I'm just saying
that Keenan, like I'm gonna get Low Down Dirty Shame was pretty. I do enjoy Low Down Dirty Shame. That was pretty good, right?
Yeah.
Now I know Shawn Wayans did a movie called what was it? Not Fearless. It was called where he was Senseless. No. It had elements that where he got these superpowers because he took he took the drug, but he overdoses on it, so all his powers is wreaking havoc on him. You know, no, I don't. I think there's elements of Blank Man that could have been better.
Blank Man.
Yes, I think there's serious elements of Blank Man that really could have been better, right? If they eliminated the jokes and really concentrated on being a real super.
Look at Joseph. Joseph know his black films, boy. Yeah. I'm gonna get you, sucker, you dirty mother. Don't you say that. That was like his hey, I'm gonna
how do you go to the bathroom with all them gold chains on?
No, I mean that's true. That's true. Did you say Black Dynamite? Is that on your list? Did we talk about that?
Black Dynamite is definitely on that list. Black Dynamite. Michael Jai White, man, yo, brother, and I can call him brother. That is like the best movie you have done. It is funny. It showcases some of your and it showcases your comedic side because you do have a comedic side.
You do have a comedic side.
You're this real. If any of you out there have never seen Michael Jai White in person, Michael Jai White is like 6'4".
Very intimidating looking dude. Yeah,
got that real deep voice, and don't catch him when he has his hair cut low and he's got the real goatee going on. He's goddamn scary, right?
Yeah.
But that movie showcased his comedic side. You can see he had timing, and then he just got the whole 70s era. It's like he like someone took him from the 70s and transported him into this movie. He got the whole vibe going.
He got the whole vibe. He's like, it's like Shaft on freaking steroids. Yeah. He's
Shaft. He's Bruce Leroy. He's the Mac. He's
everybody.
He's everybody.
Everybody.
Who wants to work with my kung fu?
Yeah.
I was like, damn.
You got to see Black Dynamite, and I saw Black Dynamite when it first premiered at the American Black Film Festival, and I saw it when that was the day I met Robert. I've said before that I met Robert Townsend. I met him at that premiere of Black. Well, I met him earlier in the festival, but I got a chance to talk to him again at the after party for the premiere of Black Dynamite. We saw that at the HBO theater down in Miami, the HBO theater in South Beach, and that's where they premiered it at the American Black Film Festival. And there was celebrities wall to wall there came to support him. It was really cool. Robert Townsend, all the way, Lee Daniels. It was just a lot of celebrities that came to support him. And it was like standing ovation at the end of the film. They were just like, yo, this film was awesome. It was funny. It had a little action in it. It was, it was crazy, witty.
Yeah,
I'll tell you, they had the thing with the chicken, right? It was like how he with Roscoe's chicken and chicken and waffles. He had gave him the idea.
Gave him
Like
the idea.
He
It was like,
chicken and
man,
waffles. He's like,
that's the ticket.
That's
But
chicken,
yes,
chicken
yes,
and waffles. Yeah,
Black
you get a little
Dynamite.
breakfast, little lunch.
But
Yeah,
Black
yeah.
Dynamite, yeah, watch it. Now my other movie, and I debated this for a minute, right? Like, is it a really must see? And I had to take it because it's starring a white man. But I had to take it and said, I think the culture that it showcases, you have to put in the list. That's 8 Mile. It shows the hip hop culture, right? But it shows it from the white guy's perspective about trying to get onto that stage and hit your freestyles and have the crowd love you, which is really one of the hard. To me, it gave me images of somebody white going into the Apollo and everybody strictly booing him because he's white. Before he or she opens his mouth, everybody's booing him because he's white. And you kind of sort of got that feeling when he first went on stage. He was like, he choked, but then when he felt it was time, he got up there and he showed the crowd what he can do. And then when that happened, people didn't see this white guy; they just saw a rapper up there that had some skills. But yeah, 8 Mile is a movie you definitely should see. Right now, I'm gonna hit you guys with a couple of films that I know you're gonna say, "Well, I never saw it," and I'm gonna tell you why, because they were on HBO, right? But they're important to the culture. First one is the Tuskegee Airmen with Lawrence Fishburne. That is to see about the development of that. We as a people, we had our own separate unit within the Air Force, right? And it even gets touched on more in Red Tail, because Red Tail is based on the Tuskegee Airmen.
Yeah.
Right. But now that one is a little harder for people to find. I mean, I know, and I'm basing this on myself. My Walmart has it available. Walmart has it available in the movie section. The $5 bin, you can go find Tuskegee Airmen. Go find it. Right. The other one, which I know is a harder movie to find, but I thought about is Don King Made in America with Ben Rhymes. When he's doing that, that is Don King that you see on the screen. And listen, Don King is a legend in the boxing business. He has done a lot of good stuff. He has promoted fights. He is the guy. He is the guy that can make or break a fight just by him talking about it. But he was a shicey individual. He was all about money.
Yeah.
Just about what are you doing, or what can I do to do this event? But make
what can you do for me? I mean, it's just that plain and simple. What about OJ Made in America?
Man.
I mean, that was a big. I mean, I'm not gonna say you have to see it or you won't lose the black one, but that was a big moment in Black American history, but Black culture and stuff like that, because of everything that came. It was the tension that was going on during that trial. It to be honest with you, it demonstrates how the Black culture can be sometimes, or the Black community can be sometimes, how even if it's someone that we may consider a sellout or don't really turn to the Black community, when he's in a situation, certain situation, we got his back, right? Or her back, right?
I'm tending to agree with you. Yes. And in that movie, everybody in that movie brought their A game. If you never,
Yeah.
if on FX, no, it's the People versus OJ, right? The People versus OJ with Cuba Gooding Jr.
The one with Cuba Gooding Jr.
Yeah,
Yeah,
I think
I
it's the
think
People
that was the
versus
one.
OJ.
Yeah, People versus. Oh, yeah, that was the the People versus OJ.
Right.
OJ Made America, I think, was a documentary.
The documentary.
That was a documentary.
But
that was good too. But the People versus OJ was a nice dramatization of what happened. You know what I'm saying? Courtney Vance played
Cochran.
And then you had what's his name?
Yeah, Sarah Paulson playing Marsha Clark.
She did well. She did really good. Everyone did.
She looked just like Marsha
She
Clark.
looked like Marsha Clark in that film. I was like, yo, Sarah Paulson's a exceptional actress anyway, and she's a really good impressionist.
Yes,
so
she is.
She's good at looking at somebody and picking up their mannerisms. You know what I mean? Anybody, Sarah Paulson, the actress, if you've never seen any of her impressions, just Google Sarah Paulson impressions. She does a Drew Barrymore impression, that impersonation that
she I mean, really, she needs
Drew Barrymore.
Really, she needs to be on Saturday Night Live with.
She really should be. I mean, she's beyond that now, but she should have been on there because she is really good. I mean, I've always said I've always dreamed of taking. I used to say, give me Eddie Murphy, give me Martin Lawrence, give me what's her name from who started it from HBO?
Liv Power? I mean, Liv Thurman?
No. The Simpsons started on her show.
Yeah,
What is
Thurman.
No. The Simpsons started on her show.
Yeah, I
mean,
mean,
used to be on
isn't
HBO.
her name Liv something?
No.
Tracy Ullman. No, Tracy Ullman.
Tracy Ullman. Yeah, Tracy Ullman. People like that, and a couple other people. I would really love. It seemed like Eddie Murphy would have took on a challenge like this. Give us like 5 to 6 actors for the whole movie, and let them do all the characters. It should do it. And I'm talking about the best ones that we know of. The people that like I said, Eddie Murphy. Martin has done pretty good with it. All these people that that played multiple different characters, play all different types of characters. Then you take the females, people like that, or if you want to grab somebody like a Sarah Paulson, if you want to grab somebody like the girl from Saturday Night Live, she's really good. You know what I'm talking about. She always plays. She plays everybody.
The one from Ghostbusters.
Yeah, the one from
her.
Yeah,
I was thinking
she's a beast.
Maybe Tina Fey.
Maybe Tina Fey could be in it.
Well, or something like that.
Yeah, maybe Tina Fey. Who else have we seen do that? Like I said, Tracy Ullman, like somebody like Tracy Ullman.
Jim Carrey be perfect.
Jim Carrey could probably do some.
He definitely could
do it. I don't know, but I want to limit it to 6 actors, and they will play every character in the film.
Mm-hmm.
I'm saying that is something that I would love to do. So if any of you actors want to get at me. I'd love to direct something
that sounds like an interesting project to do something that when you pick 6 extraordinarily talented actors, 3 guys, 3 girls, and you make the entire movie and they're playing everybody.
Yeah. They're playing everybody in the film. There's not one other person in the film that is not them. It would take them extra long to shoot because of that reason, but literally, that would be an ill project.
Yeah,
that would be an ill project.
That would be ill. I mean? That really
like they actually playing every character. You're playing every character in the movie.
My next film, which I think you should see, I just lost it. Is I know people are gonna laugh when I say this, but if you think about it, you should. It's Diary of a Mad Black Woman by Tyler Perry.
Mm-hmm.
That is the start of Tyler Perry.
Reign.
Basically. That's really what it is. Reign.
This is Tyler Perry reign. Oh, let me take a time. Let me take this time to do a commercial real quick. What I am wearing right now is a Real Talk t-shirt.
Cheap plug.
Yeah, shameless plug. Real Talk t-shirts. Pick them up on our merchandise on the IE Network merchandise site. That's the IE Network. www.theienetwork.store. That's right. Check it out, man. That's a
Yeah, check
shameless
it
plug.
out. I
Yeah,
just want to know where mine is. That's all I want.
www.the
And I need it in black. I need it in
You need it
black.
in black. You need the black
Yeah,
one. Okay.
black. All black.
IE
Actually, you know
Network
what? I'm taking that back because
store.
I'm taking that back because I got a whole lot of black t-shirts. You know what I wanted in? I wanted it in like a dark, like royal blue, something
Royal
different.
blue.
And then maybe the microphone and the words will pop out more. I don't just something different than gray, black, or white.
Yeah,
No,
yeah.
I need
Look at
different.
that. Jimmy A said, "Hey, I'm going to buy it right now as we're talking about it." That's what I'm talking about, Jimmy A. I
Commitment.
appreciate you, buddy. We gotta get you. We gonna get some merch for you too for your show. So bench warmers, the bench warmers show podcast. That's sports and stuff podcast. That you can catch that tomorrow night. Tomorrow night at 8 p.m. here on the IE Network. We
That's
gotta
what's
plug
up.
our shows, man. We gotta plug our shows and keep going with it. But yeah, and always plug the merch, man. I have another one here. I can send you this, Ralph, but it's not your color, Ralph. So and plus it's too big for you because I like my shirts really big on me. So this one's too big for you.
What
This is
size
like
is it?
it's a 5X.
Yeah, that's a little
I
bit.
like my t-shirts real big on me. So here we go. Here's the same shirt. So y'all don't think I'm a bum wearing the same shirt. I have two of the exact same shirt. Here's my proof. One here and one here. Okay.
Now then you be hearing that's all you can afford is just two shirts.
Hey, man,
You
you got
cheap ass.
t-shirt. No, I'm gonna get. I got an orange one that I'm gonna get because so that way I can wear it with my my hat that has the orange in it. I gotta always rep my
Oh,
Met colors.
that might you know what that might be kind of nice. Orange like an
Orange.
orange. That
It
because
looks
the
good on orange because on the site you could see the
yeah.
orange one. You can go on the site and I think you could see what they look like in different colors, right?
Yeah, the orange one
So,
is very Florida-ish. It's it blends in with Florida.
look at that. He said he's buying it in orange. Look at that. I'm buying
Yeah,
it in
I kind of
orange.
like the orange one. The orange one
The
might
orange one
be
got those colors. It flows nicely. It's got the nice colors. I mean, with
nice
these
summertime
colors, it
color.
just. I was like, all right, okay, yeah, man. I'll get you one out there. I'll
That's
get
what's
you one
up.
out. It's gonna be it. But everyone, man, check it out, man. Go out, support the show, buy the merch. We have more stuff coming as well. You know what I mean? I got more merch coming. There's other stuff on there too. When you check it out, we got Heaven Hollywood Experience stuff on there. Heavy hitters, they got their own brand now. The heavy hitters got their own brand on that site. Heavy hitters t-shirt. Heavy hitters mug, drinking mug. Same thing. We're gonna have a real talk mug. If you don't want to get a shirt, grab a mug. It ain't that much.
There you
It's
go.
like $9, something like that. Nice little mug. You can drink, it's something useful. You know what I'm saying?
That's what's
So,
up.
we had to take that time for the shameless plug
Yeah,
moment.
shameless plug. Shameless plug.
All right, go ahead. Let's
all right,
move it
so
on.
my next movie that I'm gonna pick is a little bit older, but I think, and I don't think I said that, but I should have, is Blade. Uh, look, a lot
Yeah, I
of
thought you didn't say
I
Blade,
don't
but
think I did,
that
but I
should be
should
on there.
have. Blade doesn't, to me, does not get the credit that it really deserves. Because when they talk about the modernization of the superhero movie or the Marvel Cinematic Universe, most critics will sit there and say X-Men. Blade came first. He was not the biggest character and it is a Marvel movie. When it comes on, it says Marvel Studios. It is a Marvel movie, but he's not the most known character. But
Yeah.
Blade really showcased that
Yeah.
you could take this a B-list character, if you want to say B-list, and make it
Right.
into an A-list movie.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
You really because let's be real, the Avengers
That was the test. No, but no, that was the like you say, the litmus test. That was the litmus test because honestly, I'll give you this. I don't know if you know or not, because I know you're not a comic guy, but Iron Man was not a
That's what I was going to
A-list
say. They were
comic
all B
character.
list. They were all B
Yeah,
guys
yeah,
that got turned
right.
into A.
Except Captain America. He's the only one who was always a forefront character, Captain America. But Iron Man by no means was, he was kind of like a B. And I hate to say that, but it's the truth. In the comic world, people would, if you went to the comic book store and there was X-Men, Captain America, Iron Man, Spider-Man, the last thing you're grabbing is Iron Man.
Right.
You're gonna grab Spider-Man, you're gonna grab X-Men, you're gonna grab Captain America. Yeah, you're not gonna grab Iron Man.
And you certainly wasn't looking for Blade. You wasn't even. You probably said, "I don't even know
you
what
weren't
Blade
looking for
is."
Blade. No, I when I first saw Blade, where did I see? What was the first time I saw Blade in?
I know exactly where I was at. I was actually taking a girl out. We were going to.
I'm not meant the movie. I meant the character, exposed to the character at all in the comics. But go ahead. You was here. The movie was awesome. I thought it was great because of the angle they came at it from. I thought it was a right move to make it an R-rated film because it should have been. You're talking about vampires. I'm currently writing a vampire film right now in my creative writing class. I'm currently developing a vampire film. Even back when they made Blade, I'm gonna tell you this right now: a vampire film is the easiest and the hardest film you'll ever write in your life. And the reason why I say that is because it's easy because it's well loved it has a big following. You can write a vampire film about, a crackhead vampire and people will watch it.
Hey, whoa, don't say that. That's somebody's idea right there.
Yeah, no, I just threw it out there.
A crackhead that's a vampire, and they only go around either killing crack dealers or other crackheads. Because what is crackhead sleeps all day.
Yeah,
vampire sleep all day. There you go to correlation.
Perfect right there. But anyone will watch like a vampire movie, right? So they got such a following, but because it's such a big celebrated, the lore of it behind it, it's very hard to make a unique vampire film. So Blade, the character Blade and the movie Blade really accomplished that, because what made it different was, number one, he's a vampire hunter that is part vampire. That's different. Another thing is, so he's technically killing his kind. Another thing is he's a daywalker. Nobody thought about that before. And there was no movies that thought about having daywalker film, characters in there, So him being a daywalker, that's why he's so feared by the vampire community, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, I didn't know who, but I said I'm gonna say because it was Wesley Snipes. But man, and I like even the way they introduce him. He walks out all black, and the camera shows, like, they see him, and you see him flashing as the camera pans up while the vampires are feeding or whatever, and then the camera you see him start slowly coming in. He just starts smiling like, yeah, like, yeah, what's about to go down. I mean,
that was great. He was great.
It was awesome.
I'm gonna be honest with you. It's gonna take some getting used to with this new.
It is.
I love Mahershala Ali. I think he's a great actor. I don't think it was necessary to cast him as Blade, especially like if you're gonna cast someone else other than Wesley Snipes. To me, you should cast somebody that's already physically capable to do the role. In my opinion,
only black person that comes to mind is Michael Jai White.
Michael Jai White, yeah, right, yeah, Michael Jai White.
I mean,
because Blade, now I know what they're going to try to do. Then, because they have Mahershala Ali, you can't waste it. And there's no disrespect to the character of Blade, no disrespect to Wesley Snipes. You cannot waste Mahershala Ali's acting on a character like Blade, because Blade's character doesn't require great acting. Now, it all depends on the story they come with and how they do it. Because Marvel, MCU, since it became the MCU officially, they like we talked about this before, they have really mastered the art of finding that human element that really requires good acting. That actually requires good acting. You know what I'm saying? Even though the Blade story I love, but that was the Blade story from the comics too. You know, the fact that his mother, blah 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 blah. Yeah, but yeah, that's what it is.
Now I'll be
Blade's a
honest,
good pick.
I like Blade 2 a little bit more, because to me there was a little more action.
More
And
action.
I mean, the whole sequence in the beginning where he's fighting there and he's fighting off in a motorcycle, and I think I like it because I listened to the audio commentary in Blade 2's with Wesley Snipes, and he's saying how he goes from this style where he's punching one guy, is boxing, then he goes to jiu-jitsu, then he goes to a kempo. And it's like, man, and you're sitting there saying he can't really be hitting the people that fast, but that's not an effect. His hand speed is incredible. I mean, you literally can't see. You can't see him when it's coming.
This is what's bothering me, Ralph, about Mahershala Ali. Mahershala Ali is not a martial artist.
Well, he is, but the problem is that we've never seen anything that he's done to sit there and say,
that's true.
You know, now
he is. I did read that he was. I retract that statement.
Right, because in retrospective, Wesley Snipes is a master, but to that point in time, we really hadn't seen Wesley Snipes fight martial arts on camera. We've seen him box and fight.
Yeah,
we hadn't seen that element to him. But I think right then it works because it's the first time you're seeing the character Blade. He wasn't he's not stepping into somebody. But now you're going to have someone stepping in. I was like, well, I want to see what Mahershala Ali can do. Are you better or nearly as good as Wesley Snipes?
Man. Well, I mean, with the film wise, now it's not. I mean, I'm not gonna say you don't have to be because of the way they could shoot things, but I mean, he's gonna have to train hard, man.
But see,
really fill those shoes.
I'm gonna be honest with you. Nowadays, you still got to. You know why? Because Wesley Snipes. If you ever meet Wesley Snipes, to this day, Wesley Snipes is intimidating.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
And I cannot say this. He is no longer intimidating as Nino Brown. Because when you see him, you think Blade. You don't think Nino Brown too tough. You're really thinking Blade. And Wesley Snipes, he's another guy. He's got a comedic side. He likes to kick it and hang out. But when he's about his business, it's something. It's like he switches heads and he just goes into this real deep focus, right? Which is what you need for the character Blade. Like Blade is always tuned in. He's not kicking it back and hanging with the bros or having a beer. It's always about I'm killing vampires. Oh, you want to do something? I'm killing vampires. Oh, you want to go get some girls? I'm killing vampires. I don't care about none of that stuff. So Mahershala Ali has got to have that laser focus as Blade. I want to see how he can handle a fight. Because I don't think in any movie he's been in, he's actually fought anybody.
Yeah.
I don't think so. At least Wesley Snipes did,
No, I mean, who you talking about, Mahershala? Have he ever did any? I don't see. No, almost everybody. Even would have been his audition tape if he would have did something in Alita Battle Angel.
Which he really
that would have been his. He didn't. That would have been his audition tape. Alita Battle Angel. That people, Joseph in there talk about all the fine black women that was in Blade. Talk about Sanaa Lathan makes a beautiful black vampire in Blade, and of course,
I don't know what the hell happened to Nick Boucher.
Also loved in Boucher Wright.
She just disappeared, man. It's like, yo, where did you go? Because she was fine as hell, but she just up and disappeared. So I don't. Maybe nobody was casting her, but she was pretty damn good, and she just where you at now? VH1, go find her. Like, come on, where the hell are you now? But
maybe we'll find that. We have a new show coming out called In Case You Didn't Know, and it's actually backed by the actual blog. In case you didn't know, that everybody knows, that's run by the same people that bought you Phil Sugar and all these other people, other blogs. We have a video show coming out that's going to be talking about basically stuff like that, things you didn't know. So you might see people like that. Maybe we'll reach out to Boucher Wright and be like, "Come on, tell us something. Tell us something in case you didn't know. Tell us something that
because
we didn't know. Where you been?"
I severely got feelings that there is a bunch of deleted scenes to Blade that are sitting there and we don't know nothing about that delves deeper into the mystique of Blade, much deeper.
They never brought her character back either.
Exactly, she just disappeared.
And
She
didn't
die.
Kill her? No, she didn't die.
She didn't. Sanaa Lathan's character died. Yes, but Nabushe Wright's character didn't. She survived. Right, and in the next scene, he's like, "No, don't give me a cure. Design me a better serum." So she didn't. You didn't even hear if she even did that part. Gave him a better serum.
That would have been awesome.
Yeah,
that'd have been awesome if she would have came back and did that. But then they kind of just went through. And then of course, what films tend to always do when you got a good thing going, they try to just, I'm granted they didn't pull a New York Undercover and just throw a bunch of white people in there. They did bring in characters that's from the comics, but they just didn't really do it well with Hannibal King and all of them.
Right.
I did like Jessica Biel. I liked her character as Abigail Whistler.
Yes,
I did like her, and I liked her as Abigail. I knew about the character from the comics. I did like her as it because she was nice. She was I think she fit the role pretty good. It's pretty physical. I'm surprised she didn't do more physical stuff.
Well, I think her husband said, "Look, honey."
I think he just locked her down
honey.
after that.
At the 18, she was like, "Look, honey." He was like, "Look, honey, that's it."
after he put that ring on it, he was okay. We're gonna lock that down now, because she definitely was. She missed an opportunity, in my opinion. She was on her way to being.
I think Jessica Biel could have really been a good leading lady. I mean, don't get me wrong, she still does stuff, but it's more like dramas, Lifetime movies. But she could have really been a box office, one of those girls. One of those women at the box office. Because she had an appeal to her. She was another one of these child actors that hated being on television because it was too restrictive. And once she got in the movies, the whole narrative changed.
Yep. I mean, when she in the Texas Chainsaw Massacre movie, she that was she was doing a lot of physical stuff in that. And like I said, Abigail Whistler, I thought that was going to be like a new beginning for her, like the Abigail Whistler character. I'm like, oh, okay, she about to go into that field, of the action stuff.
I think they kind of underutilized her in 18. She should have been way more assertive in 18 than what she was. They figured they probably which actually we need to get on this thing with Marvel. These latte drinking executives said, "Nah, she's too cute. Nobody would believe that she could really kick somebody's ass. Nah." But see, that's what it is, because when you fight, you learn one of the first rules of fighting. You don't underestimate anybody.
Mm-hmm.
Don't underestimate your opponent. Just because a person looks weak or looks soft or they're shorter than you.
And that's dumb, because what you call her, she's a petite little thing. Maggie Q.
Yes, she is. She's like 5'1".
She's 5'1" and very
look at
thin
Lucy
too.
Lucy Liu. But catch one of them on a bad day, and see what happened to you, because they're gonna fuck you up. And when you laying down on the ground with your head bust open, they're gonna go this, give you a kiss in your head and walk on off in their 6-inch stilettos. That's what they're gonna do.
So I think she missed an opportunity or whatever, gave up an opportunity maybe because of getting married, but it seemed like she did. Maybe Justin didn't want her to outshine him.
Now I'm gonna be honest with you.
Make his move into his films and stuff.
Now I'm gonna be honest with you. It would not bother me if John Wick 4 came in and Jessica Biel was in there as an assassin, looking to get John Wick. I would be like, that would be that she was showing loyalty for the fealty, and they had her in there as well. John Wick's body disappeared. What happened to him? Did he survive? and they call her, and it's someone that John Wick knows or messed with in his past. So she knows exactly what he's going to do, and she went hunting him. Yeah. I wouldn't mind seeing that. That would not throw me at all. I'm like, yeah, that's a good addition.
I'm going. The next John Wick, though. I need Holly back, though. I definitely need Holly back. I got to see Halle Berry back in the next John Wick.
I don't think Halle Berry's going to come back in the next John Wick.
I don't think she is, but I'd love to see her come back at least,
because
just like they did before. She don't have to be all through the movie because you don't want to ruin it by making her all through the movie, but just once again bring her in for a short period of time.
I don't even think you're going to see that one because her arc with John Wick is ended. No, she like the debt is repaid. So
now, but now the debt's repaid. But now he can become in debt to her because he's gonna need all the help he can get. I'm thinking that they're gonna try to align all of these people that he's kind of been having dealings with. Like obviously they reuniting him with Lawrence Fishburne, and they're gonna be fighting on the same side. And then the whole, you know what it is, bro. So he can go to her and owe her a debt. You know what I mean?
But he's not traveling back to Morocco. That ain't happening.
Yeah, but we'll see. I'd like to see that. I'd like to see that.
Yeah.
Joseph Turner says Aaliyah played a vampire and Queen of Town. Rest in peace. Rest in peace, Aaliyah. Yeah. Go ahead.
Now I'm only going to give one more movie that I think that you should see. I said 10, but I'm really going to bring another 5. Man, I got so many choices, but since you mentioned Halle Berry, I'm going to say this one, and that's Introducing Dorothy Dandridge. Once again, HBO television movie, right? But a lot of people over the years before they came out simply forgot about Dorothy Dandridge. They I don't know who she is, and you see Halle Berry, and then all of a sudden people start to remember how Dorothy Dandridge, that she was a severe threat in which she could sing, she was gorgeous, she could act, and Halle Berry Halle Berry and Dorothy Dandridge actually look alike. They're very, very similar in facial features and size and everything. But it was a very good movie, and I think it was really the first movie that I can vividly remember by Halle Berry that showcased more of her acting over her looks. Right? A lot of movies that she did at the time all showcased her looks. Strictly Business. She was hot. With the exception of Jungle Fever. Jungle Fever, because she's playing a crackhead. But the stuff where she wasn't playing a crackhead, it really showcased her looks. And I thought that was a detriment because Dorothy Dandridge showed that she could really act. And I guess later she does prove that because she does have an Oscar. So you can't say she can't act. And I will never sit and say she can't act. I said
no, you can't say. You just said you didn't like the movies. You think like the movies that she done or picked or even done. Joseph keeps asking me if I do the vampire movie, will I include India Moran? Hey, I might, Joseph. I'm just
that probably be a good look.
I think she'd love to do that. I think she would love to do something like that. I would definitely have to.
Something like that.
Yeah, she would literally sink her, no pun or pun intended. She would sink her teeth into something like that. I would definitely approach her, Joseph. I would say, hey, I'm doing this vampire flick. Do you want to be in it? I don't know if you mentioned this. I want to mention one. I meant to put it out there before. You might have already said it, and if not, it's probably maybe on your list. But I said because when we talk about Eddie Murphy movies, Boomerang has to be on that list, man. And I'm gonna tell you why. Let me tell you why Boomerang has to be on that list. Number one, it was a film that at that time, a lot of films weren't. It projected the black characters. All the black characters in that film were like successful, working black characters. They weren't, poor and whatever. They were successful business, people, right? That was important. Halle Berry, obviously wasn't her introduction, but that was, the Halle Berry with Robert Gibbons dynamic between the two. The storyline was pretty unique, you know what I'm saying? Because it was talking about how, they flipped it, how they, everyone always talked about how the women get, sprung and they get, and it was
Played.
reversed. It was reversed where get played,
Yeah.
Even to the point where he's curled up in the corner. Call me, he's saying
Call me.
that. Call me. He felt like, oh damn, and now she was that. It really pushed that woman empowerment when you think about it with her, especially the Robert Gibbons character.
Yeah.
Another thing that a lot of people may not consider, I'm gonna throw out there. Remember, this was the first time we ever heard of Tony Braxton. And Tony Braxton came out with Love Should Have Brought You Home. You know what I'm saying? And that was connected to this film. The first time I ever saw Tony Braxton was the video for Love Should Have Brought You Home. And I had no idea who she was. I thought it was Halle Berry. I was like, Halle Berry sings? Because they had the same type of haircut.
Yeah.
I was like, is that Halle Berry singing?
Wait. I mean, interrupt, but who wears that hair better, Halle or Tony? That short haircut.
That's tough.
I'm like,
bro.
Tony, man. Tony.
I think Tony might have wore it better, man. Halle killed it though. Halle wore that hair. She wore that hair.
Yeah,
boy.
man. But Tony, even now, if Tony wears her hair like that, it's like, damn. And Halle Berry the same way, but I always liked it better on Tony Braxton.
When I first saw Tony Braxton, I thought it was Halle Berry singing. I was like, oh, so Halle, I'm like, so the girl from the film sings? Because I hadn't even wasn't into Halle Berry at that time either. So Boomerang turned a lot of things on for me. Another important thing, it has some classic actors in there. Eartha Kitt, Grace Jones. Like that's a black film, bro. It demonstrated black.
That got me, and I am sorry on the name, but the guy from the 7-Up commercials, Krispy Kreme, no caffeine. He was in the movie. I was like, yo, really?
Black love was displayed. Black, dating, the black dating scene, black corporate America. Was all that was demonstrated in that film. You know what I'm saying? And just the whole thing about players, how a player gets, finally meets that, everyone says, and that set the tone for other films that did that same theme about a player, meeting his match. You know what I'm saying?
Thin line between love and hate.
Yeah, Thin Line Between Love and Hate was a direct result of that film. Thin Line Between Love and Hate. Even some of those other ones that came out after Boomerang, like How to Be a Player and all that other stuff. Those, all of these other films that came out where you have the player character who meets his match. Finally, he met his match was Robin Gibbons' character. She flipped the whole script on him, and then in the meantime, he still had the love interest with Halle Berry. You know what I'm saying? But then you had the dynamic between him and his boys. Now I'm telling you, man, that film, that's on my must-see list. You got to see that film.
You know what? From where you putting it, because I don't have Boomerang on my list, but now that you explain like that, I'm looking at it like, yeah, because that was really, even though he was trying to come with this suave thing in Coming to America, he really was putting on this suave but rich player mentality in Boomerang. I mean, hell, Layla Roshan, and you see all the tips he was doing, and then you had the one crazy girl that you dick down one time, but it was trash.
One crazy, he had it all, man. Yeah, that was homegirl, Tisha Campbell. She was the girl like, oh yeah, you want to talk with that? And he's like, no. She said, you want to come over dinner? He said, not if Jesus was hosting it. She's like, wow. So It had every element in there, and it set the tone for, like I said, a thin line between me and my brother talk about this all the time. A thin line between love and hate is a direct result of Boomerang. It's almost a carbon copy, just a little bit different. They, threw a little bit different elements in there, but the premise of you're a player, and eventually a player will meet their match and get played.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying? Or his premise was more of the player thing will come back to bite you eventually, because he didn't get played by her. He just got almost got laid out by her.
But he got played by Robin Givens. He really
Oh,
did.
he did. I'm talking about. I meant Thin Line.
Halle
Thin
Berry.
Line. No, I meant Thin Line. He, Martin didn't get played. It came back to bite him. You know what I mean, with the girl. So
that part where he was in front of the police office, and he gets in the car and says, "She broke me down to the brake pad." And he gets in the car. He goes, "Where am I going?
Where am I going?" Yo, it was great. It was funny. But like I said, without Boomerang, there is no thin line between love and hate.
Agreed.
It doesn't happen. So that's cool, man. I think that's good to wrap up the show. Next week we're doing something interesting. Next week we're gonna have another some more guests, panel of actors. We're gonna do this again. Next week, when we do talk about the moments of, I think we can do our moments about what made you cry and stuff, because do our list. But we do have some guests next week. We have we're gonna do a panel of actors. We're gonna talk about actors that's played toxic roles, toxic characters, right? Not only everyone talks about how do you prepare for that role. What I wanted to know is, how do you release that energy when you're done? Because you got these actors that really, and I got the idea for the show based on the actor who played in this film that I talked about earlier, Judas and the Black Messiah. Okay, the dude's name is Lakeith. What's his name? Lakeith Stanfield. Lakeith Stanfield said that he played the role of William O'Neill, or whatever his name was, who is the guy who infiltrated the Black Panthers, came up through the ranks, actually befriended the chairman of the Black Panthers, the guy who was the leader, Fred Hampton, and pretty much was responsible for him getting killed by the feds. And actually was infiltrated and stayed in the Black Panthers for many years until he came out and admitted what he did in a documentary in real life. And then the day after that documentary aired on national television, he committed suicide. So this dude had to play him, who was pretty much the lead of the film, because they're telling the story from his perspective. And he said that he had to get therapy to get when he was done with that role, because some actors, and I was just on the before we started the show, I was on the phone with actress, you remember her, Diane Durango. She was on a couple of shows with us. She is going to be back next week, on there, because she played a sociopath character that she said that was like a serial killer or something like that. I've been trying to round up actors that's played these type of roles, and this is what I want to dig into. I want to know, not only how did you prepare for it, how did you release that energy when you were done? You know what I'm saying? LL Cool J said he had to stay in a hotel for, I think, 2 weeks after he shot In Too Deep. He didn't want to take that energy home to his family. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Queen Latifah said she had to break a lot of habits that she was doing in, when she played Cleo and Set It Off. You know what I mean? Just even if it's just the mouth, the weed smoking. Not that she has never smoked weed, but the habits that she had to portray as the character. And remember, actors who are like that weren't always actors, that started as entertainers, rappers, whatever. A lot of times they have to kind of like dive into method acting, because they, you know what I'm saying? They're not, I don't want to I don't want to diss them and say they're not skilled enough to pull that energy. But to me, my favorite actors are method actors. You know, they're a little extreme now. Don't get me wrong. They are very extreme. Jared Leto is one. You know,
But you
he's
saw what
one of
happened to
the,
Heath Ledger because
yeah.
I
Method
mean
actor.
beyond that one, but I know from many times I heard that he talked to Nicholson before he even he said that it's a tough role to handle,
Yep.
and when this over, and I would be curious to see Joaquin Phoenix now
Yeah.
that he has played and he played a whole real deep version of
Real
Joker,
deep version of Joker.
like how like
Almost like humanized Joker and almost made a relatable version of Joker that no one ever
really
attempted to
could
do.
do.
Yeah, they never even attempted it. They
I don't
just
think
wanted to
anybody
keep
could do it.
Joker the way he was, just a bad person, crazy, whatever you want to call it, psychopath, sociopath, whatever. But
Mhm.
he did a whole dynamic, and that's what dude was saying. What Lakeith was saying. He said I had to look. He said I watched the guy's documentary where he was speaking in the interview. He said now I wasn't really listening to his words. I was paying attention to in between the words, his mannerisms, his thoughts, his faces. Because I could tell there was some hurt there with the guy. The guy was not completely okay with what he was doing. You know what I'm saying? He felt forced, number one, which he was, and he just got himself in a position not to empathize with him. But when you're trying to play a character, you got to find that empathy somewhere where you can say, okay, I can see where he might not be. So anyway, he said it took him. So all these actors that dive into these characters, man, and then they become, dude. I mean, I really want to know what that's like, man. I want to know what that's like. Donnie Brasco, they did it in the film where Donnie Brasco, would go home. Joe Pistone was the character who was playing Donnie Brasco, a character playing a character, and he was would go home and bring that gangster shit home when he really shouldn't have, because you just becomes your life. You know what I'm saying? Because you in there, especially people like that, a cop, man. That's I'm telling you, bro. So we're gonna talk about that. I have a couple. I got Alice Reyes, who's she was obviously in
Happy
Trade
birthday to
Off.
Alice. It's her
Yes,
birthday
happy
today.
birthday. Exactly. Happy birthday. I was just getting to that. Thank you, Ralph. Happy birthday to Alice Reyes. She is not only in Playing Dirty, which will be out later this year, but she is the star of my new film that I'm working on, called Mirror, and she plays two characters in this film. So she's, it's a very, different type of deal. But she's gonna come on and talk. But she played another in the past. She played a character. I think she said that was really kind of like sociopath type of character. So I'm gonna have about maybe 2 to 3 actors come on the panel, and we want to get their stories and how did they deal with it. Diane Durango, I love her. She's so intense. She is a method actor, and she takes that shit real serious. You know what I mean? Like outside of going and murdering somebody, she's gonna do everything possible to relate to this character that she may have played or whatever. So it'll be fun to have her next week. So we'll have some. So I'm gonna try to get Rayon back. I think Rayon has done that before too. I'm gonna try to get Rayon, but I'm gonna try to get another actor on. Maybe there's so many of them, and they've all done what these type of roles. Not all of them, but a lot of them have. Sometimes even at their earliest stages in their career, and still in all, it doesn't matter. It's a role that could be considered like a toxic role. You know what I mean? Like
I
if you don't.
saw one today, which I hadn't seen in a long time, and I actually met her, Glenn Close from Fatal Attraction.
Oh my goodness,
brother.
Oh.
Bro,
Yeah, that was a crazy character, man. To dig into that character, wow.
And I mean,
That is.
I met her one time, and I met her at the premiere of Cat on the Hot Tin Roof. She was there with her husband, and
Yeah.
I wanted to just say, I just said, I just talked to her. And I said, you know what? You are the reason why I have never cheated on a girl. Never. She's like, what? I said, I told her, I said, no, my first job was working in a movie theater, and Fatal Attraction came out the year that I worked there. And I remember I've seen Fatal Attraction a bunch of times with a bunch of different audiences. The reactions are always the same, but it just freaked me out so bad that I said, I can never take the chance to cheat on the girl because might come home, she might snatch my kid, she might try to kill my dog. I mean, come on, she cooked the rabbit. So
Cooked the
she laughed and
damn
she
rabbit.
said, so she
Rabbit
laughed at
stew.
me, right? And she
Rabbit
said,
stew.
exactly. So she laughed at me. She gave me a smile, and then she was she's like, and you better never. And I was like, oh, yes, ma'am.
Yes, ma'am.
Yes, ma'am.
That's awesome. But that's awesome.
And I think I would like to ask that question, like when you do decompress from playing that real series, like what she did.
Yeah.
It's decades since you did Alex Frost, but you were able to bring it back like nothing. Like so, like once it's in you, can you just snap back
Yeah,
into it
that's
like
gonna
no
be a
problem?
that. Make sure you ask that question next week because some of I think I spoke to one of them before and they said it does stay with you. Elements of it will always stay with you, but you have to learn to release the toxic part of it because I mean, bro, writing this film that I was writing before, it was a psychological thriller, and writing it, I don't have to act. Just the research I had to do to write it was really, it bothered me. I literally had a night terror a few nights ago. I was sleeping, I had a night terror because I was so dove into this world of mental health and serial killers and this and that. And I'm writing this thing and I'm like, yo, this shit is toxic, yo. So imagine if you have to be the person to portray that character. So that's what I want to talk about. I think the actors will really like to come and talk about it because they don't get a chance. It's like therapy to them too. They don't get a chance to talk about stuff like that.
No, they
Because
don't.
no one cares, right? Unfortunately, no one wants to
Like
hear about that.
I'm sure people because I think because it's an act like you play the role and then you move on to something else. So like I'm sure nobody asked Denzel like how did you flip from Training Day back to
Yeah,
being
yeah,
Denzel or even
yeah.
Wesley like how did you flip from being Nino Brown to
Mhm.
back to just forget the next
Shit.
role back to just being
Yeah,
Wesley Snipes.
yeah. And think about this: Wesley Snipes is famous for staying in character on set. He did it with Blade. He was always Blade the entire time. People didn't even want to talk to him. People couldn't talk to him because he would look at you like you stupid because he's Blade. He's the you talk to him, you come talking to him like he Wesley. He ain't gonna answer you. You know what I'm saying?
Blade.
He gonna answer you like Blade. He's going all in. I'm gonna look up a list of known method actors too, because some of them are considered that and some of them aren't. I know Jared Leto is one of them because he's
Yeah.
another one who stays in character through the whole
I know
thing. Because
I did hear that Heath Ledger stayed in character, but when they
yeah,
weren't shooting, he stayed away from everybody. He just wanted to be by himself,
just
which
want to be by himself.
might have been a bad thing. That
Yeah,
probably sound like it
man,
was a
that'd
bad.
have been a good thing. I know for sure. Robert Riley, who we had on the show before, a couple years ago, who's on. He's now currently on Dynasty. Um, he shot this film with me called The Trade Off, and the role didn't require him to be all crazy, but he also seems like someone who kind of stayed in character because I remember even with outtakes when we had an outtake and we would all bust out laughing. He wasn't laughing. Like he would stay in character. Like he would because it might be a role, it might be a scene where he had to be a little violent, and then like somebody makes a mistake and then everybody starts laughing. It's an outtake, and he would just kind of walk back into the corner and just so he didn't even
Like
really, you
this.
know what I mean?
Like that. That's Giancarlo Esposito.
Yeah.
He don't laugh. Like I don't think I can really remember too many movies where I mean everything he does he's super intense, but I don't really think I remember too many movies where he's cracking a smile.
Nah, I mean, even his roles, he is great at that.
That's
He
what I'm
can
talking
give
about
you that blank
in his
look.
roles. I don't remember any roles that had Giancarlo Esposito in it where he was actually cracking a genuine smile. Not like, I mean, yeah, when he was bugging out, there's a part where he does smile, but when he's talking about the white guy moving in his neighborhood, why you on my block? Why you want to be in the Bronx on my block on my neighborhood?
He was always, but you know what's funny? And now I'm gonna say this because we're gonna end the show. But you know what's funny about that? You mentioned that with him. Early in his career, he was always on 100, wilding out, bugging out, so to speak.
Yep.
He did it in school days. He was always yelling in school days, right? Because he was the dean of the fraternity.
Yeah.
But then later in his career, he became this calm but still ruthless. Like after he played the Chicken Man, after he played my man from Breaking Bad.
Yeah, I'm dead serious. I don't think I've ever seen a movie where he is not laser focused, intensive, fresh. There was a series that came on Cinemax called Jet that he was on. Same thing.
He has mastered it, man. No one wants him to do anything other than what he does. He has mastered the art of looking at you straight, but scaring the crap out of you because you don't know what he's going to do next, especially after he played that role in Breaking Bad.
Now that we've been saying that, the only movie where I could generally remember him really busting a smile is in Mo Better Blues. When he was, that one part where Bleak was when introduced it was telling everybody who the band was.
Yeah.
He's on the keys. He did crack a smile, but the rest of the movie, he wasn't smiling. And when they was really digging into him about the girl, his girlfriend, he wasn't smiling or laughing, and they were really funny.
He's a very intense actor, man. I love his acting. I mean, he brought such a dynamic even to The Boys. You know what I mean? The show The Boys. When I saw he was in it or going to be in it in the second season,
like, it's going to be good. It's going to be good.
It's going to be intense. I said, and trust me, I said, there's something with this character. He's got something. Whether he got a power or he could. I said, there's no way. The way he was talking reckless to the Homelander. I said, no. I said, that dude talking reckless to the Homelander. I'm like, he has some way to kill these motherfuckers. There's some way he can kill these supers because he's not a super to our knowledge, and he talking reckless to them like, yeah, you're going to do what I say. And that's the deal. That's it. That's the bottom line because Stone Cold says so. So, anyway, I think on that note, so we'll come back next week and really jump on that. I think that'd be real interesting.
Yeah,
make sure you table that question, man, because I want to hear what their answers are going to be to that. How you really let go of that, man? Or does it stay with you? Does it truly stay with you, and how much of it stays with you? You know what I'm saying? Can you go to the next role and let go of it? I was wondering, because even though this wasn't a toxic role, but Alice played Adriana Santana in Playing Dirty. Now it's been quite a while since she's played that role, but I still saw little elements of it when she was doing some of the reading for this new role. Not much, I did. It might have just been the voice she was using, but because she can change her voice. When she used that deeper, what I say her deeper, sexier voice, I like that. I like when she uses that voice.
And she can say anything. I just like.
Yeah, she just say it. She can freaking recite the alphabet. She can recite the alphabet, and you're like, oh yes, So big up to you. I need more letters. I need more letters. Like I'm at Z already. I need more.
Just
do it backwards.
I'm looking like, do me a favor. Just say jawbreaker.
Yeah, right. Jawbreaker. Slowly.
Jawbreaker.
Yeah. So that's funny. So big up to Allison. Happy birthday. We appreciate you. We love you, and hopefully you come on next week, and we'll see. How much we love you.
You with some praise. Shower you with some praise.
That was you some praise. You did your thing, and you know I'm embarrassed to play. I always play. You see her the beginning of the show because I always play Playing Dirty trailer. And for those who you don't know who she is, I play the Playing Dirty.
Get to know her.
Beginning, get to know her. She's number one. She's a phenomenal actress. Number two, she's hot as f, and she's sweet.
You know when you know who she looks like. I every time she posts a picture, I see the same. She looks like Jennifer Beals. She looks just like Jennifer Beals. Yes,
you think so?
If you look at Alice and then look at Jennifer Beals from Flashdance, you're like, yeah.
I think Alice is the thing with Alice for me. I think her look changes. Like she has these elements because it depends on how she's wearing her hair. If her hair is curly, she looks a certain way. If her hair is straight, she looks a certain way. You know what I'm saying? If she puts her hair back in a ponytail, she looks a certain way. She looks different almost every time. There's elements that I saw her, and she had her hair curly one time, and she gave me some Vanity vibes. When I was looking at it, I was like, damn. Kind of look like Vanity right now a little bit, but it's like she changes her look. It's so weird, but it's dope. You know what I mean? So she gonna come on. She gonna come. Yeah, she's very versatile. She's also a trained dancer. You know, very good at it too. Very very good. Obviously actress, and so can't wait. Y'all come on and come back next week. Check us out. If like I said, if you don't know who Alice is, she's on Playing Dirty trailer that always plays before the show. She's the woman that you see sitting on the couch with the main character. So you're the famous Yoshi Lomax. That's what she said. She's also in the sex scene, which is awesome threesome scene.
Ain't seen it yet. I ain't seen it yet.
You haven't seen it?
I was late to set that day when that was going on. I was late.
Man.
I was stuck in that damn New York traffic.
That damn traffic. And you didn't and you didn't make it to the festival, right? The film festival?
No.
All right, man. I'm surprised. I'm sorry. I'm surprised you never told me that. I'm gonna send you the link to watch. Just watch the whole thing, bro. It was great.
To see it because
watch it. Yeah, you gotta watch it because you was there for most of the shoots.
Yeah,
you know what I'm saying. So
when I first met, she is very easy to talk to, and she just kind of like flowed with the dialogue, and it to me it looked like even she was emphasize something like no one told her, she just did it because she said it might sound good. Just like the way she said I think she said the great. Yeah. The infamous Yoshi Lomax.
Yoshi Lomax. Yeah.
Like nobody told her to do this with her hand, but she just felt it was like it. And looking back, I was like, damn, that's what someone would.
That worked.
It worked.
Yeah. She's really good with that. She like that and she played that character. And I'll tell you this, that character was originally only like a side character. Didn't even really have any lines except for meeting her and whatever. She didn't really have that whole dialogue that we wrote with her and Yoshi. I wrote that for Alice because Alice originally, I'll give you a little secret. She originally auditioned for Yoshi. Okay. She almost got it too. But because of her look, I was like, I really need someone sexy to play Adriana Santana. And she was by far that day.
Yeah.
And maybe through the whole thing.
She was the
sexiest. Like, she was the sexiest. And even during the audition, she was the sexiest woman that walked in there. There was a couple of them that were, because you had to project that for Yoshi, right? So I was like, I want to ask you something. Would you be if you were not to get this role, would you be interested in another role? She's like, yeah, of course. I told her about Adriana Santana and had some lines that we wrote up, gave it to her, and she came back with the second time and just nailed it, man. I had her read with someone else, and I was just like, yo, yes. It was her and the guy who played Santana in the film. Those were the two that we pretty much, after they said like 3 words, we was like, yes, yes. You know what I'm saying? So, and and Zasha really knocked her audition out the park too. So, but yeah, man. So that we'll get that popping, bro. I'll send you the link and you can watch it, man. Watch the whole thing.
Yeah, I'll check it out. Yeah.
I'll send it to you tonight, as a matter of
I'll
fact,
check
while
it
I'm
out.
thinking about it.
I know it's
All
gonna
right,
be good.
y'all. We'll
I know it's gonna be good.
Yeah, it's good, man. It's good. It's good. We'll and it's gonna be coming out. We're gonna be putting it out on it's gonna be coming on Amazon later this year. I'm actually about to put it into its final phase of post-production audio. We're getting some things cleaned up. So the version you're watching is gonna not have the clean audio. It's still good audio, but we're getting everything, sound design, score, all that stuff is being redone.
So it's the raw. It's just raw.
This is more raw. It has like score in there for like placeholders. This is not the real score that's in there, but there's stuff in there. Just as placeholders. But you can still get the whole gist of the pilot. It's really cool. So, all right, y'all. We'll talk to you later. Thanks, Jimmy Ace. Thank you for everybody who came out. Joseph, of course, the heavy hitters that came through. Thank you to our guest, La Rivers, for our guest for tonight.
Thank you, Miss Rivers.
Yes, thank you, La. Love you. Definitely come back. You got to get a better connection next time, so you don't be so far behind us. And we'll go from there. We'll see y'all next week, man. You can love us, you can hate us, but don't you forget about us. Peace.
You know what? I've been thinking about that. You know what we got to do? We got to catch somebody like at a karaoke bar, right? And having them sing it, and we videotape it.
And then
we can show that.
We should be able to show that. Yeah. Don't you forget about me. That was for all y'all who may have just joined us on this platform. That was our ending theme song by Simple Minds.
Now, all you're watching, what movie is it from? What movie is that from? If you don't know
that's our next list, man. We got to do the list.
The cool card.
We got the cool card. We got to do that, and we got to do. I want to do the list of songs that are not just. We did the theme songs, or we did the the movie songs or whatever. We did that battle, but I want to do the songs that immediately take you to that film.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Thank you, Jimmy Ace. Jimmy Ace said The Breakfast Club.
There you go.
That's just like listening to what's the song by Peter Gabriel? Listen to the song by Peter Gabriel. In Your Eyes.
In Your Eyes.
Yeah, in your eyes. Yo, son. If you ain't holding up a box when you hear that song, son. Yeah. All right, let me get out of here, bro. I'll talk to y'all later, man. Thanks again.